Chapter 3171. 1-1. Somewhere in the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace, the horrifying black poisonous fog was spreading forward. The surrounding demonic beasts dodged to the side in fear. Wang Xian raised his eyebrows as he looked at the poisonous fog coming towards him and the female demonic beast with a human body and a snake tail. This woman reminded him of a powerful existence from Earth's mythology, Nuwa. Of course, there was no Nuwa or sage in the universe. Wang Xian saw the female snake flying towards him and the poisonous fog spreading towards him. He waved his arm. TSK TSK TSK. In an instant, the poisonous fog dissipated. Oh! Which damn thing dares to stop me, the thousand weapons great demon? The eyes of the octopus-like great demon in front of him were filled with coldness as he stared at Wang Xian with more than 10 eyes. Thank you. Thank you for saving my life, senior. When the female snake saw Wang Xian purifying all the poisonous fog, she felt as though she had just survived a calamity. She didn't dare to stay any longer. Her figure gradually turned illusory and disappeared. Wang Xian looked at her without saying a word. Seeing the female snake escaping back to her god kingdom, the thousand weapons great demon stared at Wang Xian. Brat, tell me your name. To be able to erase his attack in an instant, the other party was definitely at the venerable realm. The thousand weapons great demon didn't dare to attack recklessly. Don't be too arrogant. Wang Xian stared at the thousand weapons great demon and said emotionlessly. The thousand weapons great demon was unscrupulous when he came. Just now he even launched an area of effect attack. If Wang Xian wasn't here he wouldn't care. But since he was here he wouldn't allow this guy to act arrogantly in front of him. Father, have you caught that female snake? I want her to be my female slave. At this moment, a few demonic beasts similar to the thousand weapons great demon flew over. They looked around and said, that thousand weapons great demon is from the demon god palace. A great demon from the demon god palace. The demon god palace is very powerful here. Who are those two? Since he dared to attack he must be at the venerable realm. Some demonic beasts discussed softly in the surroundings. Demon god palace? When Wang Xian heard the discussions around him, he raised his eyebrows. He had heard of the Demon God Palace, a very powerful demonic beast faction. The entire Demon God Palace had 9 demonic beast clans, each of which had a great demon. It could be said that the Demon God Palace was one of the more powerful demonic beast forces in the surrounding starry skies. Wang Xian looked at the few demonic beasts that were flying over. He squinted his eyes and flew ahead without saying a word. The thousand weapons great demon stared coldly at Wang Xian and Willow Deity. He hesitated for a moment and did not strike. The other party was not weak. If he was alone he would not rashly fight with him. Father. A few demonic beasts at the side saw their father's solemn expression and called out softly. We were disturbed by that guy. Let's go. Thousand weapons great demon said coldly as he flew to the side. Wang Xian continued to circle around the entire Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace, checking out the situation. In the following days, more and more demonic beasts gathered at the Heavenly Ocean Dragon Palace. The opening of the Heavenly Ocean Dragon Palace was getting closer and closer. Wang Xian waited quietly beside the east gate of the Heavenly Ocean Dragon Palace. According to some information he had obtained, the opening of the Heavenly Ocean Dragon Palace would sometimes have 4 dragon gates open at the same time, and sometimes only 1 dragon gate would open. However, he was sure that the east gate would open every time. At the east gate, a large number of demonic beasts had already gathered. At a glance, there were hundreds of venerable realm demonic beasts. This was a feast for the demonic beast. One day before the opening of the Heavenly Ocean Dragon Palace, a roar came from behind. A terrifying aura spread out. The demonic beasts at the east gate shuddered and immediately looked behind. It's the Heavenly Dragon Clan. The Heavenly Dragon Clan is here. Sis, the leader of the Heavenly Dragon Clan should be at the front. Sis, 4 venerable realm heavenly dragons pulling the dragon throne. They are indeed the Heavenly Dragon Clan. This is a powerful clan of the divine dragon bloodline in the universe. Every time the Heavenly Ocean Dragon Palace opens, the Heavenly Dragon Clan will definitely be there. They can enter the Dragon Palace easily. It is also because of the Heavenly Ocean Dragon Palace that the Heavenly Dragon Clan could rise so quickly. The surrounding demonic beasts looked over. Even some of the greater demons were staring at them with flickering eyes. The Heavenly Dragon Clan was very strong and had great prestige among the demonic beasts. After all, the Heavenly Dragon Clan had several third-order universe venerables. Roar roar. In front, the 4 heavenly dragons pulling the dragon throne roared. At the center of the east gate of the Heavenly Ocean Dragon Palace, all the demonic beasts made way for them. The Heavenly Dragon King looked around and paused on Wuxia for a few seconds. His eyes were flickering. He sat on the dragon throne and did not speak. He looked ahead majestically and waited quietly. The surrounding demonic beasts looked over in awe, their eyes flickering. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Not long after, several powerful auras came from behind him again. The undisguised aura attracted the attention of all the demonic beasts. It's the 4 palace masters of the demon god palace. The group of demonic beasts looked back and saw tens of thousands of demonic beasts flying over. They saw a dozen figures in the lead and spoke. Another powerful force, the demon god palace, rushed over. They were in human form. The ones in the lead had a bird beast head, a lion head, a tiger head and a fish head. They were filled with barbaric aura. The 4 palace masters of the demon god palace. The demon god palace had 9 clans and 9 palaces. This time 4 palace masters were here. The demon god palace isn't weak at all. Wuxia looked around and sensed that the palace master of the demon god palace with a bird beast head had 3rd order universe venerables. Dragon King Tian, you're early? The palace master with a bird beast head looked at Dragon King Tian in the center and spoke plainly. The demon god palace is really persistent. You guys come every time. So what if you're here? You can't pass the dragon gate. Dragon King Tian looked at the demon god palace and spoke plainly. Haha, how would you know if you don't try? The Heavenly Dragon clan has entered the Heavenly Ocean Dragon Palace so many times, but you still haven't obtained the inheritance of the Heavenly Ocean Dragon King. I don't think you guys have any hope. The palace master with a bird beast head had a slight change in expression. He laughed and retorted. Shut up. Upon hearing him, Dragon King Tian looked over with cold eyes. Tisk. The palace master with a bird beast head from the demon god palace snorted and didn't dare to continue provoking. Chapter 3172. As the powerful forces arrived, the surrounding demonic beasts waited quietly. A few hours later, tens of millions of demonic beasts gathered at the east gate of the Sky Sea Dragon Palace. Among them there were no less than 150 supremacies. These were not the hidden grand demons. 10 hours later, the Dragon Palace in front of them suddenly trembled. The gray mist above the Dragon Palace slowly dissipated, and rays of golden brilliance shone from the Dragon Palace in front of them. The graveyard-like Dragon Palace seemed to be emitting vitality at this moment. The golden light slowly spread to the surroundings. It reflected the surrounding seabed. The Sky Sea Dragon Palace is about to open. It's been 10,000 years. I've been waiting for 10,000 years. This time I must go through the Dragon Gate. This time only the East Gate is open. As long as I make the Great Leap, I will have the Divine Dragon bloodline. I can refine my bloodline and improve my strength. In the surrounding area, the eyes of the demonic beasts were burning with passion. They were all extremely excited and couldn't wait to rush into the Dragon Palace. The golden light shone brighter and brighter. The dragon pillars on both sides of the gigantic Dragon Gate gradually radiated brilliance. The brilliance formed the shape of a dragon gate. It was a golden illusory dragon gate with a golden divine dragon sitting on it, exuding boundless majesty. As long as they could pass this dragon gate, they could enter the Dragon Palace. The Dragon Gate was formed. It's starting. Seeing the Dragon Gate completely formed, the surrounding demonic beasts were agitated. Aha, the Dragon Gate is open again. I'll go in first. When Dragon King Tian saw the opening of the Dragon Palace, he immediately flew into the Dragon Palace. As he flew inside, there were other figures flying past him at high speed. One by one, they flew to the front of the Dragon Gate and entered without any obstruction. Wuxia looked over and squinted his eyes. Is it because they have gone through the Dragon Gate before? That's why they can enter so easily? Wuxia's eyes lit up when he saw at least 100 figures entering without any obstruction. Let's go, Dragon Gate. The grand demons from the Demon God Palace roared and flew towards the Dragon Gate. Dragon Gate. The rest of the demonic beasts roared excitedly and flew forward. At the same time, inside the Sky Sea Dragon Palace, when the hundreds of people entered the palace, the demonic beasts looked at each other and rushed forward without hesitation. Dragon King Tian turned his body around quietly. This time he was the only one who came from the Heavenly Dragon clan. He looked at the world outside the dragon sect and locked his gaze on Wuxia. His eyes were filled with passion. A black box appeared in his hand. The box was sealed and it seemed to contain great terror. I'm the deepest in the entire Heavenly Ocean Dragon Palace. As long as I lure him here, as Dragon King Tian spoke, his body trembled and he continued to mutter, "That Dragon King feels even stronger than a pure divine dragon." As he spoke, he stood there and watched silently. When he saw the picture of the Dragon King, he had this intuition. "Come, let's go in," said Wang Xian to Willow Deity, who was beside him, as he watched the Dragon Gate open completely. "It's Dragon King." Willow Deity nodded and immediately followed behind. In the surroundings, many demonic beasts flew towards the Dragon Gate. Boom boom boom. In the center, the four palace masters of the Demon God Palace exuded terrifying aura and charged towards the Dragon Gate. Behind them, over 10,000 disciples of the Demon God Palace followed closely. The demonic beasts frowned when they sensed their aura. Even some of the greater beasts paused for a moment and made way for him. "Our Demon God Palace will go through the Dragon Gate first. The rest of the demonic beasts will wait." The bird-headed palace master reprimanded in a domineering manner. When Wang Xian heard the voice from the center, he raised an eyebrow. He ignored it and flew over. It's that guy. How arrogant. Isn't he giving face to the Demon God Palace? Thousand Weapons Great Demon was on the right of the four palace masters. When he saw Wang Xian and the rest, he squinted his eyes. "Scram. Didn't you hear what our palace master said?" Thousand Weapons Great Demon's eyes flashed with a sinister light as he transformed into an octopus-like demonic beast. A tentacle lashed out at Wang Xian. Courting death. Scram. Willow Deity sensed that Thousand Weapons Great Demon dared to attack them. Coldness flashed in her eyes. She waved her arm and pieces of razor-sharp willow leaves that resembled dragon scales struck towards Thousand Weapons Great Demon. The speed of the dragon-scaled willow leaves was terrifying. In an instant, they arrived before Thousand Weapons Great Demon. "What? Oh no! Palace Master, save me!" The Thousand Weapons Great Demon's eyes instantly revealed a look of horror, and he loudly cried for help. The reason why he dared to attack was that he could count on the Palace Masters and the other great demons of the Demon God Palace. He could also take revenge on that guy for obstructing him from hunting the female snake. However, he did not expect the other party to disregard him and the Demon God Palace and attack him directly. What was even more unexpected was that the other party's strength was so terrifying. In the center, the four palace masters of the Demon God Palace sensed the situation and were shocked. They waved their arms and blocked the dragon-scaled willow leaves. However, the horrifying dragon-scaled willow leaves had penetrated Thousand Weapons Great Demon's body instantly. "How dare you attack our Dragon King? Courting death." Willow Deity looked at Thousand Weapons Great Demon and said coldly, "What?" The sudden battle and the sudden death of a great demon from the Demon God Palace shocked all the surrounding demonic beasts, and they looked over. Even the eyes of some of the other monsters were filled with astonishment. When the great demons of the Demon God Palace saw Thousand Weapons Great Demon being killed in an instant, their pupils constricted and their eyes were filled with solemnity and murderous intent. They stared at Wang Xian and Willow Deity coldly. "How dare you attack our Dragon King? Dragon King? Who are they?" At this time, a surprised voice came from behind. "Dragon King?" There were not many who could be addressed in this way. "Father! Father!" At this time, the descendants of Thousand Weapons Great Demon exclaimed as they flew over immediately. "Palace Master, they killed our father. You have to avenge our father." The descendants of Thousand Weapons Great Demon wailed in fear and anger. "Dragon King? Dragon King of the Milky Way Dragon Palace?" The bird-headed palace master of the Demon God Palace stared at Wang Xian. "Dragon Palace, Dragon King." Wang Xian looked across them and said plainly, "Dragon King of Dragon Palace, don't you think it's too much to kill a great demon from the Demon God Palace just because of a disagreement?" The bird-headed palace master said coldly after getting Wang Xian's response. Chapter 3173, Milky Way Dragon Palace Dragon King? Is it the 10th divine dragon lineage in the universe? The Milky Way Dragon King? I heard they have a purebred divine dragon? 3 primary races of the universe attacked them and were annihilated. This dragon palace is not simple. Thousand Weapons Great Demon is a rank 1 universe venerable, but he was killed instantly. What realm is that girl at? That girl should be Willow Deity, a rank 3 universe venerable. I can't believe she joined the Dragon Palace. In front of the Sky Sea Dragon Palace, the demonic beasts were shocked to see what was happening in the center. Their starry sky was not far from the Milky Way. Such a big event happened in the Milky Way, and it was related to the divine dragon lineage. Over the past 3 years, the forces here had gained some understanding. Everyone was curious about this newly risen divine dragon bloodline. He was the one who attacked us. Since he attacked us, we will naturally fight back. What? Is there anything wrong with that? Wang Xian glanced at the demons from the Demon God Palace and said plainly. Willow Deity's current strength was comparable to a rank 4 universe venerable. He was not afraid of the demons from the Demon God Palace. If they dared to attack again, Wang Xian would not mind annihilating them. Although it would be difficult to annihilate all of them, all rank 1 universe venerables and below would die. Dragon King, have you heard of the saying that a strong dragon cannot suppress a snake in its own territory? When the great demons and 4 palace lords of the Demon God Palace heard his words, their expressions changed slightly. The bird-headed palace lord said coldly with a gloomy face. Hee, then you should have heard that a weak person who dares to offend a strong person will end up in a miserable state. Wang Xian smiled and replied plainly. Let's go. As his voice fell, he gestured to Willow Deity and flew towards the Dragon Gate, ignoring the people from the Demon God Palace. The eyes of the demons from the Demon God Palace flickered coldly. However, they hesitated for a while and did not attack directly. Hee, how domineering. In the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace, Dragon King Tian watched this scene quietly as his eyes flickered. I wonder how long it will take for you to pass the Dragon Gate, he murmured. But soon, his eyes widened and were filled with disbelief. At the front, Wang Xian and Willow Deity walked to the front of the Golden Dragon Gate. It was as if the entire Golden Dragon Gate did not exist, and they walked straight in without any obstruction. How is this possible? This is definitely their first time in the Dragon Palace. How could they enter so easily? He couldn't help but growl in a low voice, his expression changing drastically. There was only one possibility, and that was that the other party was a purebred divine dragon. The other party's bloodline was not weaker than the owner of this dragon palace, the Sky Sea Dragon King. However, the Heavenly Sea Dragon King was a purebred divine dragon, a golden dragon of the metal element. Good. Very soon, Dragon King Tian clenched his fists tightly and flew towards the depths of the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace. Buzz. At this time, Wang Xian and Willow Deity entered the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace. The Demon God Palace actually didn't make a move. Is it because they are afraid of the Dragon King's strength? This 1,000 weapons great demon died in vain. He was just unlucky. He attacked the leader of a powerful force and was killed directly. The Demon God Palace is not in the right. What? How did the Dragon King and Willow Deity enter the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace so easily? It's their first time here. Dragon Gate doesn't seem to be an obstacle for them. How is this possible? Rumor has it that the Dragon Palace has a purebred divine dragon bloodline. The Dragon King and Willow Deity definitely have a very powerful bloodline. At this time, all the demonic beasts outside the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace were shocked to see Wang Xian and Willow Deity enter the Dragon Palace so easily. Was this the Dragon Gate? They walked straight in. It seems like the Dragon King and Willow Deity are really not simple. The 4 palace masters of the Demon God Palace looked at each other and were glad that they didn't act rashly just now. We have the ability to take revenge. The Birdhead Palace Master said in a low voice and continued rushing towards the Dragon Gate. They would remember this grudge first. However, when they came to the front of the Dragon Gate, they felt a huge resistance. Even the Birdhead Palace Master, who had reached the 3rd order of the Universe Venerable Realm, was flushed with difficulty. The Dragon Palace wasn't that easy to break through. Dragon Gate. Dragon Gate. At the back, the demonic beasts couldn't hold it in any longer and rushed forward. Among the group of demonic beasts, a dirty-looking woman with a snake's tail flew towards the Dragon Gate. She swayed her body to the Dragon Gate and immediately felt a strong resistance. However, she swayed her snake tail and entered bit by bit. The demonic beasts beside her widened their eyes in envy and shock. Is this the Heavenly Sea Dragon King's Dragon Palace? Such dense spiritual energy. After so many years of silence, there's still such dense spiritual energy? At the same time, Wang Xian and Willow Deity, who had entered the Dragon Palace, sized up the interior of the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace with astonishment in their eyes. As for the Demon God Palace, he didn't care about it at all. When the weak provoked the strong, especially when they attacked directly, they usually didn't have a good ending. Willow Deity was a kind-hearted person. However, when she saw the 1,000-weapon demon hunting the snake girl as a slave, she might have been a little angry and killed it directly. After entering the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace, Wang Xian could feel the extraordinariness of the Dragon Palace. The spiritual energy was too dense, just a notch weaker than the current Dragon Palace. It was definitely comparable to a rank 8 or rank 9 cosmic god nation. It was very strong and didn't look like the dragon palace of a fallen dragon king. Let's go and have a look ahead. The layout of the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace at the entrance was similar to that of the Dragon Palace created by the system. Further ahead was the Dragon Field. When he came to the Dragon Field, he immediately felt his mind become active. The ability of this Dragon Field was similar to that of the Dragon Field in the Dragon Palace. In every corner of the Dragon Field, there were demonic beasts who had just entered cultivating. They were using the power of the Dragon Field to break through the difficult problems of the 10,000 years of cultivation. However, most of the people who entered continued to fly inside, hoping to find more treasures. Wang Xian looked around and continued to fly forward. There were 2 huge pillars in front of him with divine dragons entrenched on them. The words Dragon Cave were carved on the pillars. Dragon Cave. This is the same as the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian murmured and continued to walk inside with Willow Deity. Inside there were many dragon caves similar to the Dragon Cave in the Dragon Palace. There was no energy in the Dragon Caves. Perhaps some of the treasures inside had already been taken by others. Wang Xian looked around carefully and moved forward bit by bit. However, he didn't know that somewhere in the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace, an illusory figure was watching everything. Chapter 3174. Snatch Bloodline on. What a pure bloodline. What a strong dragon blood. Is this a mutant divine dragon? Haha, I have waited for billions of years. For billions of years, this day has finally come. Finally. In the Dragon King Hall of the Sky Ocean Dragon Palace, an illusory figure stood in front of the dragon throne. He looked at the scene in front of him with excitement in his eyes. His dignified face looked terrifying at this moment. Good job. Good job. I was prepared to stay in your body. I did not expect you to give me such a big surprise. Ah. He looked at a figure in the scene in front of him, which made his illusory figure tremble with excitement. I must succeed. I must succeed. As long as I can steal the sky and change the meridians, I will have a powerful divine dragon bloodline. It will no longer be an ordinary dragon bloodline. As long as I succeed, I will be able to inherit the Sky Ocean Dragon Palace and lead the Sky Dragon clan to the peak. At the same time, at the location of the herb garden of the Sky Ocean Dragon Palace, he passed through many powerful restrictions and arrived at a herb garden. Inside the herb garden, there were many stalks of divine grass. Each divine herb had the shadow of a divine dragon flickering from time to time. It looked very mystical. This was dragon blood grass, which was very precious to the alternative dragons. The reason why the Sky Dragon clan could improve so quickly was because of this dragon blood grass. Not everyone could enter the herb garden of the Heavenly Ocean Dragon Palace. So far, he was the only one who could enter the powerful restrictions. Dragon King Tian stared at the black ancient box in his hand with excitement. He slowly opened it. Buzz. A terrifying energy came from inside. There was a black liquid inside. The liquid was wriggling and emitting a strong smell of blood. It seemed to be the blood of a living creature. Dragon King Tian slowly walked to the center and buried the black liquid in the soil according to certain rules. After carefully dealing with it, he walked to the place where the liquid was buried and laid down in the soil as well. He moved his palms slightly. His blood flowed out of his wrist and merged with the black liquid. Dragon King Tian's life force slowly disappeared until all of his life energy was gone. However, his eyes were fixed on the entrance of the herb garden the entire time. He waited quietly, waiting for a powerful opportunity that belonged to him. He was waiting for this transformation. Dragon King, this dragon palace is a little strange. At this moment, Wang Xian and Willow Deity, who were in the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace, were observing their surroundings. Willow Deity frowned slightly and could not help but ask. Yes, it's a little strange. This place is filled with vitality. It doesn't look like a dragon palace of a fallen dragon king. Wang Xian nodded his head. His face was also filled with doubts. The dragon field and dragon cave seemed to be operating normally. It did not look like the dragon palace of a fallen dragon king. It's strange. This time Wang Xian did not speak directly. Instead he transmitted a message, be careful. Let's go and take a look ahead. As he spoke, he continued flying forward. After flying for a few minutes, they saw powerful law energies in front of them. Through the power of the laws, one could vaguely see the herb gardens in front of them. In front of them, there were many demonic beasts searching carefully, wanting to enter. Wang Xian swept his gaze across the crowd. Among this group of people, there were more than 10 great demons. He squinted his eyes slightly and scanned the area ahead. If this is the Dragon Palace, it will be difficult for the entire Dragon Palace to continue operating after my death, let alone these laws. Wang Xian murmured to Willow Deity. He had obtained the complete inheritance of the Divine Dragon tribe and was very clear about the Dragon Palace. The Dragon Palace was equivalent to the Divine Dragon Kingdom. Once the Divine Dragon died, the Dragon Palace would gradually decline. But this Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace still had rules and the power of the laws. There was only one possibility. The Heavenly Sea Dragon King was not dead. There are two possibilities. First, he is in a deep slumber after suffering heavy injuries. Second, he is trapped somewhere. Willow Deity pondered. No, if he is in a deep slumber or trapped, the Dragon Palace should not open by itself. The Heavenly Sea Dragon King is inside. Wang Xian shook his head. His eyes were filled with vigilance. A Dragon King who was not dead and opened his Dragon Palace once every 10,000 years. What was he plotting? What was the reason? Wang Xian pondered. He was also full of vigilance for the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace. Although they were all from the Divine Dragon tribe, there were also disputes among the Divine Dragons. Just like humans, there was no complete harmony among the races. In the universe, there was competition everywhere. Let's go. I feel that the laws in front don't have much effect on the dragon species with higher bloodline purity. Wang Xian scanned the power of the laws in front of the spiritual medicine garden and spoke. Yes, Dragon King. Willow Deity nodded. Her eyes revealed a tinge of vigilance. But since they were here, they could not go back directly. Wang Xian flew to the front and stretched out his arm towards the laws in front. Indeed, he did not encounter much resistance and could enter directly. He took a look at Willow Deity and both of them walked in directly. Her? They actually entered the spiritual medicine garden. What? They found a way to enter the spiritual medicine garden. SSS, they seem to be the second to enter the spiritual medicine garden other than the Heavenly Sea Dragon King. At this time, the surrounding demons were shocked when they saw Wang Xian and Willow Deity entering easily. They hurriedly flew over, their faces filled with envy. Wang Xian and Willow Deity ignored them and walked straight ahead. When they entered the spiritual medicine garden, they immediately sensed waves of majestic spiritual energy. However, there were no divine herbs in the spiritual medicine garden. They should have been taken away by someone. What a strong divine dragon bloodline. Haha, it seems like I need to guide them. The success rate is too low if we only rely on that guy. And that girl's bloodline isn't low either. I can sense that she's very strong. It seems like we have to lure her to the side to prevent her from destroying the ceremony. When Wang Xian and Willow Deity entered the spiritual medicine garden, the illusory figure in the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace Dragon King Hall was murmuring with excitement and agitation. At the same time, Wang Xian and Willow Deity entered the spiritual medicine garden and immediately found another spiritual medicine garden in front with many divine herbs. They were taken aback and immediately rushed over. Similarly, they had to pass through another law of energy. When they entered the spiritual medicine garden, their eyes were burning with excitement. All of them were universe supremacy level divine herbs. There were more than 100 of them. Chapter 3175. Plunder Bloodline. Chapter 3181. Plunder Bloodline, over 100 rank 1 and 2 universe supremacy divine herbs. This is indeed the dragon palace of a powerful dragon king. Wang Xian looked at the divine herbs in the garden with a passionate look in his eyes. Among these herbs, there were tens of them that belonged to universe venerables. These divine herbs could increase the number of rank 1 universe supremacy divine herbs by 5 to 6. Wang Xian waved his arm and immediately kept all the divine herbs. There are still divine herbs in the garden ahead. Did Dragon King Tian not enter the garden? Looking at the front right, he raised his eyebrows and spoke. Let's go. As Wang Xian spoke, he immediately walked forward. Once again he successfully entered the garden. There were still many universe supremacy divine herbs in the garden. He waved his arm and kept all of them again. That Dragon King Tian came from a different place from where we came in? Wang Xian was perplexed as he scanned the surroundings. He found that there were still divine herbs in the garden on the left. He hesitated for a moment before walking over. He's here? How did he come from this place? At this time, Dragon King Tian was slightly taken aback when he saw Wang Xian and the rest walking over. But soon after, his eyes were burning with passion. He lay in the soil and waited quietly. When Wang Xian entered the spiritual medicine garden, his expression suddenly changed. He hurriedly looked to the side. He realized that Willow Deity had disappeared from his side. What's going on? This made Wang Xian's expression change slightly and he revealed a fearful look. He frowned slightly and looked to the sky. There was only one possibility for them to be separated in an instant. It was the work of the Dragon Palace Master. Because this was the Dragon Palace, equivalent to the Heavenly Sea Dragon King's Holy Kingdom. In this Holy Kingdom he could control anything with just a thought. Wang Xian scanned the surroundings with vigilance on his face. This is dragon blood grass? Soon he noticed the dragon blood grass here and his eyes lit up. Dragon blood grass, a rank 3 universe supremacy divine herb. It was definitely a treasure. His face revealed a hesitant expression. He took out the universe AI and found that there was no signal. His gaze landed on the dragon blood grass again. With a wave of his arm, the stalks of dragon blood grass landed in his hand. Buzz. At this moment he felt a black liquid in the dragon blood grass. This liquid landed on his palm unexpectedly. A wound immediately appeared on his palm. A drop of blood was absorbed by the black liquid. At the sight of this, Wang Xian suddenly had a bad premonition. Haha, success, success. Just at this moment Dragon King Tian, who was in the mud, revealed an excited look in his eyes when he saw this. The black liquid on his chest turned into symbols and surged into his body. The black runes entered his body, causing his vitality to recover. A smile slowly spread across his face. At this moment he took out a round ball. On the surface of the round ball was a divine dragon. This was a dragon pearl, a metal dragon pearl. Do it. He spoke to the dragon ball. At the same time, on a planet within the Jianghu trading company, countless experts were gathered there. Ancient painting sect. 50 universe supremacies were gathered in front of a huge square. They were emitting an awe-inspiring aura. Behind the 50 universe supremacies, there were 5 million ancient painting sect disciples standing there, emitting an intense battle intent. And opposite the ancient painting sect, there were many powerful sky dragons. One after another, heavenly dragons with a single horn on their heads and huge wings were lying on the ground in a dense crowd. Leading them were Duke Tianlong and Matriarch Tianlong of the Sky Dragon race. Other than them, there were also a few sky dragons with auras no weaker than them floating quietly in the air. Compared to the ancient painting sect experts, the Sky Dragon race's aura was even more terrifying. There were over 100 universe venerable level sky dragons and half-dragons. Their terrifying auras made one shiver. Other than the hundreds of universe supremacy sky dragons and sky dragons, there were more than 2 million ordinary sky dragons and sky dragons. All of them had transformed into sky dragons. The smaller ones were tens of meters long, while the bigger ones were thousands of meters long. Intense killing intent was emitted from their bodies. Other than the ancient painting sect and Sky Dragon race experts, there were 5 to 6 universe supremacies at the center disk. The disk exuded the power of a formation. They were the Jianghu Trading Company's supremacies. The experts and disciples of the ancient painting sect and the Heavenly Dragon clan arrived here. They had already waited here for a day. They had been waiting here before the Sky Sea Dragon Palace opened. To the ancient painting sect, they had been waiting for this day for 3 years. During these 3 years, they had been waiting for news from the Sky Dragon race. Now that they saw the Sky Dragon race experts arriving, their eyes were filled with excitement. Now they were just waiting for Dragon King Tianlong's orders. As long as Dragon King Tianlong gave the order, they would immediately head to the Milky Way and destroy the Dragon Palace. Buzz. At the same time, opposite them, Duke Tianlong was holding a metal attribute Dragon Ball. At this moment, the Dragon Ball trembled and Dragon King Tianlong's order came from within. Hearing Dragon King Tianlong's order, Duke Tianlong's eyes flashed. Let's go. He lifted his head and looked in the direction of the ancient painting sect as he spoke. Let's go. Destroy the Dragon Palace and take revenge for the deputy sect master and left protector. The ancient painting sect master got the response from the Sky Dragon race. His face revealed intense killing intent as he growled. Destroy the Dragon Palace and take revenge. Destroy the Dragon Palace and take revenge. The group of ancient painting sect's disciples and experts immediately stood up and shouted loudly. Ancient painting sect, don't forget to help us capture the purebred divine dragon of the Dragon Palace. Duke Tianlong looked at the ancient painting sect master and said plainly, don't worry, the Dragon Palace's strength is comparable to ours. With the addition of the Sky Dragon race's strength, it will be easy for us to capture the purebred divine dragon of the Dragon Palace. The ancient painting sect master said confidently. Duke Tianlong nodded and swept his gaze across all the Sky Dragon race disciples. Let's go and enter the teleportation formation. Yes. All the Sky Dragon race disciples immediately responded. Duke Tianlong, has our Dragon King Tianlong succeeded? At the side, Heavenly Dragon Matriarch looked at him. She suppressed the excitement in her heart and asked. He should have succeeded. If Dragon King Tian can succeed, we will also have a chance to succeed and evolve into purebred divine dragons. Duke Tianlong's eyes were blazing as he said. Let's go and head to the Dragon Palace. We must capture those purebred divine dragons alive. Chapter 3176. Snatch Bloodline. Buzz buzz buzz. In front of the teleportation formation, all the people from the Sky Dragon race stepped into it and quickly teleported towards the Milky Way. This time they were fully prepared. Now the Dragon King and Willow Deity were both in the Sky Sea Dragon Palace. The Dragon King had been switched by Dragon King Tian. With the Dragon Palace lacking pinnacle experts, the two forces could easily suppress the Dragon Palace. Annihilate the disciples of the Dragon Palace and suppress the purebred divine dragons. This was their mission this time. Through the teleportation formation they rushed towards the Milky Way. At the same time at the Sky Sea Dragon Palace, Wang Xian looked at the creepy black liquid on his palm. Suddenly he sensed movement from the ground in front of him. He frowned and his eyes were cold and alert. When he first entered this place he didn't sense any living beings. Who was that in the mud? His dragon eyes flickered. Buzz. At this moment, Dragon King Tian stood up slowly. The mud on his body fell and revealed his true appearance. Her? It's you, Dragon King Tian? Wang Xian recognized him and revealed a solemn expression. He stared at him and asked, You inherited this dragon palace? Not yet, but I'm going to inherit this dragon palace soon. Dragon King Tian sized Wang Xian up with fervent eyes and a hideous smile on his face. Upon hearing his reply, Wang Xian had a tinge of doubt in his eyes. Such a strong bloodline. Such a pure divine dragon bloodline. Haha, if I can get your bloodline, I'll make the divine dragon race stand at the peak again. However, it's going to happen soon. I, Dragon King Tian, will become the strongest divine dragon in this universe. Dragon King Tian roared with ferocity and excitement. His body was changing. A huge horn, huge wings, and a dragon tail that was similar to a divine dragon. This was how he looked like in his original form. Feeling the aura of Dragon King Tian and listening to his words, Wang Xian revealed a cold look. You want to get my bloodline? As he spoke, he stared at the black liquid on his palm. The destructive energy shook slightly. Buzz. However, when the energy swept past, the black liquid did not dissipate. Instead, it turned into a special symbol. Aha, today your bloodline will be my bloodline. I've racked my brains and plotted for 3 years just for this moment. Don't worry, Dragon King. I'll make your bloodline flourish. Roar, roar, roar. The power of the taboo, the most ancient magical technique, heaven-stealing meridian changing, activate. He threw back his head and let out an excited roar. Soon after, black symbols gushed out from his body and extended towards Wang Xian. Looking at the creepy symbols, Wang Xian waved his arm and the 5 elements grindstone appeared in his hand. Boom. With a wave of his arm, an ice frost divine sword slashed at the strange symbols that were connected together. Bam. However, what surprised Wang Xian was that when the divine sword of frost landed on the strange symbols, there was not the slightest fluctuation. He didn't stop her at all. This caused his expression to change slightly. Whoosh. At this moment, the strange symbol in front of him instantly entered his body. This caused his expression to change drastically, and the bad feeling in his heart became even stronger. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. When the strange symbol entered his body, the strange symbol that flew out from Dragon King Tian's body flew over rapidly. The 5 elements grindstone tried to resist, but to no avail. When the strange symbol entered Wang Xian's body, he felt extremely cold all over. This strange symbol connected him and Dragon King Tian. Haha, this is indeed a forbidden art. It's indeed an ancient magical technique. Heaven-stealing meridian changing. Dragon King Tian saw the strange black symbols entering Wang Xian's body. Through these strange symbols, he could sense the surging power of the bloodline in Wang Xian's body. This caused his body to tremble. The greed and excitement in his heart reached its peak. Heaven-stealing meridian changing? When Wang Xian heard these 4 words again, the intense uneasiness in his heart intensified. Dragon King Tian, who was in front, looked even more hideous and excited. His body shook, but he realized that he couldn't mobilize the energy in his body. This caused his expression to change slightly. Let's begin meridian changing. I will possess your bloodline. I will wipe out your dragon palace, promote the heavenly dragon tribe, and bring glory to the heavenly dragon tribe. Dragon King Tian lifted his head and roared excitedly. Ah, not bad, not bad. Well done. Suddenly an abrupt voice rang out, causing Wang Xian and Dragon King Tian to be slightly taken aback. In the next moment, Dragon King Tian's figure disappeared. An illusory figure formed by black symbols appeared in front of them. The head was like a camel, the horns were like a deer, the eyes were like a rabbit, the ears were like a cow, the neck was like a snake, the abdomen was like a mantis, the scales were like a carp, the claws were like an eagle, and the palms were like a tiger. Looking at the illusory figure in front of him and the black symbols, Wang Xian's expression changed slightly. This was a divine dragon, a real divine dragon. However, it didn't seem to have a physical body, only that illusory energy. I've waited for billions of years. Finally, a divine dragon with such a high bloodline. Moreover, it's a mutated divine dragon that far surpasses purebred divine dragons. I haven't waited for billions of years in vain. The divine dragon's illusory figure roared excitedly. You're Tianhai Dragon King? Wang Xian stared at him, his pupils constricted slightly, and he asked warily. Ah, that's right. It's me. I've been here for billions of years. Billions of years have worn me down, and I've worn them down in loneliness. I could have possessed them long ago, but their bloodline is too trashy. I've been waiting for a powerful divine dragon bloodline to enter. Today I've finally waited. Finally. The heavens do not disappoint those who work hard. Aha, I'm very satisfied with your bloodline. Stealing heaven meridian changing. Use your bloodline to form my body. Tianhai Dragon King also roared ferociously. In these billions of years he had endured too much. However, this day had finally come. The bait he had released, Dragon King Tian, had not let him down. He had even given him such a huge gift. As long as he could form a body with his bloodline, he would be able to recover completely and get rid of his current appearance. See the light of day again. Step into glory. Wang Xian sensed the energy in the strange dark symbols. His expression changed drastically as he lifted his head and let out a dragon roar. He transformed into the body of a divine dragon, and mighty energy swept forward. It's useless. This is forbidden power. This is an ancient technique. You can't break free. Tianhai Dragon King laughed as he spoke. When he saw Wang Xian's divine dragon body, black light shot out from his eyes. What a powerful divine dragon bloodline. It even has so many attributes. Good, very good. Now it belongs to me. Recommendation: I have an investiture of the gods. This book talks about dragon kings and divine dragons. I have an investiture of the gods. It talks about the main character obtaining an investiture of the gods that can summon immortals and gods. He can summon the earth god, the day and night wandering god, the god of fortune, the god of thunder, the goddess of lightning, the dragon kings of the four seas. Tong Tian Nuwa, the rise of cities sweeping across the world, different stories, guaranteed to be equally exciting. Search, bookmark, recommend, la 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 la. Chapter 3177. Forbidden Art vs. Progenitor Tree. What's going on? What happened? Why did I suddenly appear here? I was in the middle of executing a forbidden technique, my divine dragon bloodline. In a herb garden of the heavenly ocean dragon palace, Dragon King Tian's body suddenly appeared in another herb garden. His eyes widened and his expression changed drastically. What exactly happened? His taboo technique had already been completed, so why had he suddenly come here? He looked at the black symbols on his body, his eyes filled with panic. The reason why forbidden arts were called forbidden arts was because if they made a mistake they would have to pay with their lives. Now that he had unleashed his forbidden technique, if he couldn't complete it he would die. This caused his face to fill with panic. How did he suddenly get here? There's only one possibility. I'm being used as a chess piece. As the leader and founder of a powerful force, he quickly thought of a situation. In fact, he had his suspicions about the Dragon Palace. However, with the inheritance he had received and his knowledge, he was not sure if there was anything wrong with the Sky Ocean Dragon Palace. He had no idea how powerful the peak races were. Now that he had been transferred here for no reason, he was sure that there was someone controlling the Sky Ocean Dragon Palace. No, I don't want to die, I don't want to die. Dragon King Tian revealed a look of panic. His body moved and he rushed towards the herb garden at the back. He wanted to complete the forbidden technique. Buzz. At the same time, the Heavenly Sea Dragon King hovered in front of Wang Xian's herb garden with a hideous expression. The black symbols in his body connected with the black symbols on Wang Xian's body. This caused Wang Xian to lose control of his body. He couldn't control his body at all. He could only watch helplessly, his expression unusually ugly. Crisis. This was the greatest crisis Wang Xian had ever encountered. It also allowed him to witness the power and strangeness of some powerful races and experts. Dragon King Tian schemed for 3 years to lure him here to steal heaven's meridians. As for the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace's Heavenly Sea Dragon King, he had spent billions of years using the Heavenly Sea Dragon King as a chess piece, waiting for a purebred divine dragon bloodline. Wang Xian, who was in the middle of it, did not notice anything at all. He could not imagine it at all. This heaven-stealing meridian-switching taboo technique might cause permanent damage to me. Looking at the black symbols, Wang Xian was a little embarrassed. If he died, he could come back to life again. However, this kind of forbidden technique could extract his bloodline. What would happen if his bloodline was completely extracted? Would his bloodline be affected after his resurrection? Heavenly Sea Dragon King, you and I are of the divine dragon bloodline. Why are you killing each other? He stared at the Sky Sea Dragon King and shouted with a sullen face. Aha, if you give me your body I can let you go. The Sky Sea Dragon King laughed loudly and began to wave the mysterious black symbols. The forbidden technique had already been activated and could no longer be stopped. But in an instant, Wang Xian sensed a terrifying energy coming from the mysterious symbol. He could feel his blood and all the essences in his body being transferred rapidly. Feeling this terrifying energy, his expression changed drastically. Aha, I, the Tianhai Dragon King, am finally going to see the light of day again. I will roar again. Tianhai Dragon King sensed the complete activation of the forbidden technique and roared in excitement. But at this moment, Wang Xian, who was panicking, suddenly felt a slight tremor in his heart. This is... Wang Xian was slightly taken aback and immediately focused. He saw the progenitor tree in his body tremble slightly and emit traces of fluorescent light. The fluorescent light enveloped his body and completely stabilized his restless blood and essence. What's going on? At this moment, the Sky Sea Dragon King, who was in front, exclaimed. He sensed that the energy of the forbidden technique had suddenly stopped. This was the first time he had used the forbidden technique and he did not know why. At this moment, Wang Xian sensed the progenitor tree in his body slowly extending a branch. The branch wrapped around the mysterious symbol in his body. Whoosh! The branch wrapped around the mysterious symbol, and the mysterious symbols that were connected together were rapidly absorbed by the progenitor tree. The power of the progenitor tree. Seeing this scene, Wang Xian's eyes were filled with excitement. Within his body was the strongest and pinnacle Heaven Yuan Fortune progenitor tree in the universe. The Heaven Yuan Fortune progenitor represented the pinnacle of the universe and an invincible existence. In the past, when the heavenly formation wanted to take over his body, the progenitor tree had easily resisted it. Now that this forbidden technique wanted to take over the essence in his body, the progenitor tree living in his body naturally resisted it. Even though the progenitor tree had not reached its pinnacle, it was still not something a forbidden technique could withstand. Perhaps an existence at the level of the progenitor tree did not care about this forbidden technique at all. Under his senses, the progenitor tree's branch rapidly absorbed the mysterious black symbols. The mysterious symbols seemed to be attracted and surged into his body. What's going on? In front, the Sky Sea Dragon King suddenly realized that the mysterious symbols on his body were surging into Wang Xian's body. His eyes widened in disbelief. He roared with a crazed look. What happened? A series of mysterious black symbols were rapidly absorbed, and the black symbols in his body were decreasing rapidly. Wang Xian lifted his head to look at the Sky Sea Dragon King and revealed a faint smile. This forbidden technique of yours is just SOSO. As he spoke, his eyes gradually revealed a sinister look. This time he had almost died here. No, this is a forbidden technique of mine. It's an ancient technique. How could something like this happen? No. When the Sky Sea Dragon King saw this, his face crumbled as he roared with indignation. He had planned for billions of years just for this day. But what was happening now? Was there something wrong with the forbidden technique? Or was it because he was just a dragon soul? No. He roared in disbelief as he watched the black runes in his body being absorbed. When all the black symbols disappeared, he suddenly felt a suction force. He felt that his dragon soul was about to be absorbed. This made the Sky Sea Dragon King's expression change drastically. I can't accept this. He roared crazily and struggled to break free. But at this moment he sensed a part of his dragon soul disappearing. This filled him with horror. No. He waved his dragon claws and sliced his dragon soul into two. Half of it remained here while the other half disappeared. Rumble. When he lost half of his dragon soul, the entire dragon palace shook violently. Recommendation: I have an investiture of the gods. This book talks about the Dragon King and the divine dragons. I have an investiture of the gods. It talks about the main character obtaining an investiture of the gods that can summon immortals and gods. He can summon the earth god, the day and night wandering god, the god of fortune, the thunder god, the queen of lightning, the dragon kings of the four seas. Tong Tian Nuwa, the rise of cities sweeping across the myriad worlds, different stories, guaranteed to be equally exciting. Search bookmark recommend la. Chapter 3178, Rumble. The Heavenly Sea was located at the east gate of the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace. Just as countless beasts were scrambling to leap over the Dragon Gate, a sudden roar came from the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace. All the demonic beasts felt the sudden trembling and rumbling, and their faces were filled with shock. What's going on? The demonic beasts immediately stopped and stared at the Heavenly Ocean Dragon Palace in front of them. What happened? Why is there such a strong tremor coming from the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace? Did someone touch something? The beasts murmured. Look, the Dragon Gate of the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace is turning illusory. What's going on? What's going on inside? The Dragon Gate is turning illusory. Could it be that everyone can enter? At this moment there was a cry of surprise. All the beasts looked over with sparkling eyes. The Dragon Gate was turning illusory. Could all the beasts enter? All disciples of the Demon God Palace, get ready. The four palace masters of the Demon God Palace squinted their eyes and said coldly, Rumble. At this moment the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace was shaking more and more violently, as though there was a huge earthquake. All the beasts stared at it. Just as the Heavenly Sea Dragon King and Tianhai Dragon King's plan failed in the Milky Way, the Qingzhou trading firm's teleportation formation was located on the Fog Race's Wangyin mainland. As the largest continent in the Milky Way and the center of trade, there was a lot of traffic. There were hundreds of billions of people on the continent. The Qingzhou trading firm wasn't very strong. There were only about 10 universe venerables. In terms of combat power, they might not even be as strong as the Fog Race. The reason why they were able to set up the teleportation formation here was mainly because they had paid a lot of divine stones to the Fog Race. In addition, such a powerful teleportation formation in the Wangyin mainland would be of great benefit to the prosperity of the Wangyin mainland. The entire teleportation formation didn't take up a large area of about 100 kilometers. Buzz. However, at this moment, the entire teleportation formation emitted a glimmer of light. Then, figures appeared in front of the teleportation formation. When they appeared, they immediately flew to the side. They were exuding a strong murderous aura and battle intent as they lined up neatly at the side. In front of the teleportation array, the person in charge of the Qingzhou trading firm's teleportation array was not too surprised by this scene. They waited quietly. Buzz. The light of the teleportation array continued to light up and more people came out from it. They wore the robes of the ancient painting sect. Slowly their numbers reached more than 5 million. More than 5 million people floated above the teleportation array, including 50 universe supremacies. That terrifying aura spread out in all directions. Many experts immediately noticed the situation over here. Their pupils shrank slightly, and their faces were filled with shock. What's going on? Were they from the ancient painting sect? Why did so many of them come to our Milky Way? Some people looked over, and their expressions changed slightly as they asked in surprise. So. At this time, 2 dense Fog Race universe supremacies sensed the situation here and immediately flew over with serious expressions. The ancient painting sect has come with so many people. I wonder what they are here for? A venerable from the dense Fog Race looked at the venerables from the ancient painting sect and cupped his hands warily as he asked. Don't worry, dense Fog Race. We are here to annihilate the Dragon Palace. We have no intention of offending you. The sect leader of the ancient painting sect swept his gaze across them and said plainly, What? When the 2 venerables from the dense Fog Race heard the sect leader of the ancient painting sect, they were slightly shocked. Here to annihilate the Dragon Palace? When the surrounding experts heard the words of the ancient painting sect's sect leader, their faces were filled with shock. The ancient painting sect actually came to annihilate the Dragon Palace. With the Dragon Palace's strength, they shouldn't be able to annihilate the Dragon Palace, right? One Emperor God expert said, and he was filled with doubts. At this moment, within the teleportation array, the teleportation light shone brightly, and there were violent roars coming from within. This roar was filled with unbridled savagery. This is. When the two venerables from the dense fog race heard the two roars, their expressions changed slightly, and they stared intently at the teleportation array. When they heard the sect leader of the ancient painting sect, they were shocked too. Given the strength of the dense fog race, it wasn't enough to annihilate the Dragon Palace. Now it seemed like they had other powers. Swoosh. When the roars resounded, in the next moment they saw huge figures flying out from within. They had huge wings, a single horn on their heads, and their bodies were emitting a powerful pressure. It's a sky dragon. When they saw such creatures, they were slightly shocked. Sky Dragon, the divine dragon of the Sky Dragon clan. The roars continued to ring out, spreading to a radius of over 1 billion kilometers. The situation here attracted more than half of the people in the Silver Wang continent. All of them looked over curiously. More and more experts from the Sky Dragon clan flew out from the teleportation array. When the last 100 over venerable class giant Sky Dragons came out, their auras were rampant. Everyone in the entire Silver Wang continent felt a powerful pressure. A pressure that came from the dragon's might. At this moment, even the two venerables from the dense fog race held their breaths. Are all the experts of the Heavenly Dragon clan here? SSS? Tens of billions of people had gathered in the surroundings. They were floating in the air, looking over in shock. When they saw the last 100 over venerables from the Sky Dragon clan, they were in awe and shock. Are the Sky Dragon clan and the ancient painting sect here to annihilate Dragon Palace? The entire Sky Dragon clan is mobilized? All of them are powerful subdragons, and there are also 100 venerables. There are 100 of them. This is crazy. This should be the ancient painting sect's revenge for killing their experts 3 years ago. They actually invited the Sky Dragon clan. This time Dragon Palace is finished. The Dragon King is finished, all the experts of the Heavenly Dragon clan are here. The strength of the Heavenly Dragon clan is extremely terrifying. Just the strength of an ancient painting sect is about the same as the Dragon Palace, and now the Heavenly Dragon clan is also here. Everyone looked at the massive army of 7 to 8 million soldiers and felt that suffocating aura, and they roared in shock. Let's go and annihilate Dragon Palace. Duke Tianlong's gaze swept across the surroundings as he roared coldly. Ancient painting sect disciples, get ready to take revenge for Vice Sect Master and the rest. Chapter 3179, Great Changes in Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace. Kill. In the sky above the Wangyin continent, an incomparably violent aura wreaked havoc. The cold killing intent caused the air to solidify. Everyone watched in horror as the two great forces flew towards the Milky Way. Their faces were filled with shock. The disaster of the Dragon Palace had arrived. After 3 years, a terrifying war once again broke out in the Milky Way. But this time was completely different from the last. This time, there were more than 140 universe supremacies from the Divine Dragon bloodline. Based on the strength that the Dragon Palace had displayed 3 years ago, they were no match for them. It could even be easily crushed. The ancient painting sect's revenge had come. This also represented a battle between the two divine dragon lineages. Everyone watched as countless heavenly dragons and experts from the ancient painting sects flew towards the Milky Way. Some people hesitated for a moment before following from a distance. They also wanted to witness this earth-shattering battle with their own eyes. The golden light on the Dragon's Gate has completely disappeared. The power blocking it has completely disappeared. While the ancient painting sect and the Heavenly Dragon tribe were attacking the Dragon Palace, in front of the Heavenly Ocean Dragon Palace, the energy barrier of the Dragon Palace and the Dragon Gate slowly dissipated, and they could clearly see everything inside the Heavenly Ocean Dragon Palace. The sudden change caused all the demonic beasts' expressions to change drastically. Charge. When the great demons of the Demon God Palace sensed that the energy of the Dragon sect had completely dissipated, their eyes lit up. The opportunity had come. Just now they had tried their best but still failed to make the great leap. Now that the mystical energy of the Dragon Gate had dissipated, they could rush in directly. The next moment, all the demonic beasts entered the Heavenly Ocean Dragon Palace. No. That damnable guy. Why did the taboo technique fail? Why? Is it because I'm a dragon soul? Or were there other reasons? Why did he fail? Half of my dragon soul has been taken away, and half of my control over the Dragon Palace has disappeared. When all the monsters entered the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace, the Heavenly Sea Dragon King, who only had half of his dragon soul left in the Dragon King Hall, let out a shrill roar. This was a plan he had been planning for billions of years, and he was just about to succeed, but this kind of situation happened. Not only had he failed, but his dragon soul had also suffered a setback. This caused his face to be filled with terror. In his current situation, he could no longer fully control the Heavenly Ocean Dragon Palace. This would definitely attract the covetous eyes of countless experts. Given his current situation, even if he was in the Dragon Palace, he wouldn't be able to fight against a third-order universe venerable and above. The outcome that awaited him was either being destroyed or subdued. Billions of years, and it's all for nothing. The Sky Sea Dragon King's dragon soul trembled violently. He could not accept this, he could not accept it at all. Billions of years of planning had completely failed because of that guy. And now it had caused such a situation. Looks like I have to find a body. He slowly closed his dragon eyes, filled with helplessness. After a few seconds of silence, he opened his eyes and looked forward. In front of him an image appeared. In the image, Dragon King Tian was attacking the law energy in a frenzy. His body was surrounded by countless dark runes. These symbols were gradually devouring his body. Devouring everything about him. There's still a chance. There's still a chance. As long as I find a purebred divine dragon, there's still a chance to recover. The Sky Sea Dragon King's dragon soul murmured. He moved and disappeared in the next moment. In a herb garden where Dragon King Tian was, the Sky Sea Dragon King's dragon soul looked down at Dragon King Tian, and his expression changed slightly. Roar roar. You are just a small flood dragon with a dirty bloodline. I didn't want to take your body, but now I have no choice. Give me your body. It will be your honor. Tianhai Dragon King bellowed before he charged towards Tianhai Dragon King. Oh, who are you? When Dragon King Tian heard this voice, his eyes turned bloodshot as he raised his head and roared. Boom. But in the next moment, the Sky Sea Dragon King's dragon soul charged into Dragon King Tian's body. I gave you everything you have today, and now it's time for you to repay me. The Sky Sea Dragon King's dragon soul roared. What? When Dragon King Tian heard this, his body trembled. You are the Sky Sea Dragon King? You are the Sky Sea Dragon King. He roared in horror, and then his expression turned even more ferocious. So what if you are the Sky Sea Dragon King? You are just a dragon soul and you still want to take our bodies? Dream on. Scram. Hee hee, your body? In these hundreds of millions of years, I have already made all the preparations. I am your master now. Now sacrifice your body. The Sky Sea Dragon King roared in disdain, and his dragon body slowly entered Dragon King Tian's body. Dragon King Tian's body trembled violently, and his eyes were filled with fear and panic. He struggled for a while, and the light in his eyes slowly dissipated. Gradually they were filled with cold golden pupils. The golden pupils were filled with coldness and murderous intent. I want to fuse with this body completely. I want to devour the Dragon King of Dragon Palace, devour his blood and flesh, and improve this dirty bloodline. I want to return to the peak. Dragon King Tian slowly opened his mouth and said faintly. But soon his face darkened. He stared at the east entrance of the Dragon Palace, and his eyes were filled with anger and murderous intent. Damn it, how dare you barge into my Dragon Palace? Alright, since you want to come in, don't think of coming out. Hee hee, fortunately, I have made a lot of preparations in these hundreds of millions of years, and paved the way for me to return to the universe. Soon he smiled eerily. However, when he sensed the situation in the herb garden, his face darkened again. The Sky Sea Dragon King's dragon soul has escaped? At this moment, Wang Xian, who was in the herb garden, raised his eyebrows. From the progenitor tree's counterattack to the Sky Sea Dragon King's escape, it had only been 10 seconds. However, his dragon soul seems to have suffered a heavy blow from the progenitor tree. I wonder where he has escaped to now. I wonder what realm this guy was at his peak. Wang Xian murmured as he looked around. After confirming that the Sky Sea Dragon Palace should not be in too much danger, he looked around. When he saw that there were divine herbs in a herb garden in front of him, he immediately flew over. The power of law did not affect him much. With a wave of his arm, he immediately kept all the divine herbs of the universe supremacy level. Next, he looked around with bright eyes and quickly entered the herb gardens. These divine herbs were a huge resource for the Dragon Palace. Perhaps he could gather all the resources he needed to level up. Wang Xian began to search the Sky Sea Dragon Palace for treasures. Chapter 3180, Dragon Tomb. There are quite a lot of divine grasses here. Looks like I'll be able to harvest quite a bit. The best would be to obtain the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace and destroy the Heavenly Sea Dragon King. In the herb garden of the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace, Wang Xian passed through the laws of law and collected divine herbs, divine wood and divine fruits wantonly. Towards the end, he even found a rank 4 universe venerable draconic blood grass, which made him extremely excited. At this time a familiar aura attracted him. Wang Xian looked over and saw Willow Deity in the spiritual medicine garden ahead. He moved and immediately flew over. Dragon King. Willow Deity also sensed Wang Xian's aura and immediately came forward. Dragon King, what happened to the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace? After she was separated from Wang Xian, she was transferred to an herb garden. The medicinal garden had a terrifying sealing power, and with her strength she was completely unable to break through the defense of the power of laws. When she had exhausted all her methods, the Heavenly Ocean Dragon Palace trembled and the power of Dharma weakened. Only then did she come out. Along the way she also harvested many divine herbs and divine fruits. Tianhai Dragon King did not die. All of this was his plan. Tianhai Dragon King became his chess piece. They wanted to steal my bloodline, but they went for wool and came home shorn, said Wang Xian plainly. The Heavenly Sea Dragon King did not die? No wonder the Dragon Palace is functioning so well. Willow Deity's eyes sparkled. Now that the Tianhai Dragon King is heavily injured, his control over the Dragon Palace has been greatly reduced. The attack and defense here have been weakened to the limit. I reckon the Dragon Sect will be able to enter easily. Let's go deeper and see if we can find the Tianhai Dragon King and destroy him. As Wang Xian spoke, he looked deeper into the depths. It's Dragon King. Willow Deity nodded and the two of them flew straight ahead. Willow Deity now had the power to kill a rank 4 venerable. With the current defenses of the Sky Sea Dragon Palace, it wouldn't be of much use. The two of them quickly shuttled through the herb garden, collecting the spiritual herbs and venturing deeper. As Wang Xian and the rest ventured deeper, tens of millions of demonic beasts swarmed into the Heavenly Ocean Dragon Palace. They were frantically searching for opportunities in the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace. As for the people who had already entered the herb garden, they discovered that the power of laws had weakened, so they immediately entered. The entire Dragon Palace had completely lost control. At this moment, the Sky Sea Dragon King, who was in the Dragon King Hall, could no longer care about what was happening in the Dragon Palace. He wanted to completely fuse with this body. Is that the Dragon King Palace? More than an hour later, Wang Xian and the rest passed through the huge spiritual medicine garden. They stared at the building in front of them and raised their eyebrows slightly. The huge godly ocean pacifying pillar was located in the center of the front, and a huge staircase extended all the way inside. 2 divine dragon sculptures stood on the left and right sides. However, the building in front of them was enveloped by a vast energy. Wang Xian squinted his eyes and exchanged glances with Willow Deity before walking forward. Bus. When the two of them arrived in front of the building, a wave of energy stopped them from moving forward. Wang Xian looked at Willow Deity. Whoosh whoosh. Willow Deity waved its arm and turned into a willow tree, striking out at the defense in front of it. Boom. A powerful force fell on it, causing the defense in front to tremble violently. Someone is attacking the Dragon King Palace from outside. The Tianhai Dragon King, who was lying in the Dragon King Palace, sensed the trembling of the Dragon King Palace. His expression changed slightly. His eyes were cold as he stared outside. When he saw Wang Xian and Willow Deity outside, his expression was abnormally bitter. This damn guy. One day I'll skin you alive. He growled in a low voice, his eyes filled with murderous intent. Bus. He looked around with a complicated expression. With a wave of his arm, a wave of energy enveloped the entire Dragon King Palace. Boom. Outside, Willow Deity sensed the defense of the Dragon King Palace. Her eyes flickered as she continued to attack. However, when her attack landed in front of her, the Dragon King Palace in front of her disappeared instantly. This is... Willow Deity was taken aback and revealed a shocked expression. It's been moved. This is the Dragon Palace of the Tianhai Dragon King. Even though his control over the Dragon Palace has been greatly reduced, he can still control it. Wang Xian looked at the empty space in front of him, raised his eyebrows and continued, it seems like the situation for the Tianhai Dragon King isn't looking good. The disappearance of the entire Dragon King Palace turned the area in front into ruins. The buildings that appeared behind the ruins shocked Wang Xian. Behind the Dragon King Palace, there were huge tombstones. Each tombstone was 10,000 meters in size with names engraved on it. This is the graveyard of the Tianhai Dragon Palace? The subordinates and relatives of the fallen Tianhai Dragon King? Wang Xian made a move and flew forward immediately. The Tianhai Dragon Palace was different from the Dragon Palace. Behind the Dragon Palace was the Dragon Transformation Pool, while the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace was the graveyard. Clearly, the Dragon Transformation Pool did not exist in the Divine Dragon tribe in the past. This was the Divine Dragon system, created by combining the abilities of the Bug tribe. This was also one of the reasons why the Dragon Palace was so heaven-defying. When he came to the graveyard, his eyes flickered as he looked below the tombstones. Below he saw the corpses of the divine dragons. The flesh on the corpses had completely disappeared, leaving only the dragon bones. Dragon bones were also a huge resource for the Dragon Palace. Disregarding the Divine Dragon tribe, the corpses of any powerful creature were huge treasures. If the Tianhai Dragon King didn't want to plunder my bloodline and kill me, I wouldn't have touched the corpses of the Divine Dragon tribe. But now there's no need at all. Wang Xian murmured as his eyes flickered coldly. Logically speaking, these were his seniors and he should respect the dead members of the Divine Dragon tribe. However, if the Tianhai Dragon King wanted to kill him, there was no need for him to hold back. In the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace, he would take away all the treasures that could be taken away. Willow deity, dig out all the dragon bones in the dragon tomb. Wang Xian said as his eyes flickered. Yes, Dragon King. Willow deity nodded. Its willow branches reached into the soil and dug out the dragon bones one by one. Wang Xian also moved and huge dragon bones were unearthed. Not all the dragon bones in the dragon tomb belonged to purebred divine dragons. He discovered that there were many dragon bones from other flood dragons. However, he could feel that the strength of each dragon bone was definitely not lower than a universe supremacy when they were alive. In fact, the level of these dragon bones was not lower than a universe supremacy 5th order. Wang Xian looked at these dragon bones with a passionate look in his eyes. The last time he improved was when he absorbed a powerful dragon bone. This time, with so many dragon bones and the divine herbs he had harvested, his strength would definitely improve by 100%. Chapter 3181. Two forces besieged Upper Roar. Damn it, how dare he desecrate the dragon tomb of the Heavenly Ocean Dragon Palace. I'm going to kill them, I'm going to kill them. At the same time, the Dragon King Hall, which was located at the back of the Dragon Palace, moved in. When the Sky Sea Dragon King sensed the situation at the Dragon Tomb, his eyes instantly turned blood red and filled with violent killing intent. His furious roar echoed throughout the Dragon King Palace. However, Wang Xian did not care if he was desecrating the Dragon Tomb of the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace. They were all enemies, so why would they care about such things? The guy beside the Dragon King is very strong. He should have the strength of a rank 4 universe venerable. I need to merge with this body as soon as possible. I need to kill them. He roared crazily. With a wave of his arm, the treasures in the Dragon King Hall merged into his body. At this time he wanted to fuse with this body at all costs. Otherwise, given the strength of the Dragon Palace's Dragon Kings, they would be able to break through the defenses of the Dragon King Hall. Only when he completely fused with this body would he have the strength to fight back. Time slowly passed. There were not many dragon skeletons in the tomb, only a little more than 100. Moreover, he could sense that the energy contained in these corpses was much lesser than what Wang Xian had absorbed previously. But thinking about it, it made sense. Previously, when he absorbed the dragon bone, under the situation of lacking a dragon head, the skeleton race had forged it into a rank 3 universe venerable. The owner of the dragon bones must have possessed terrifying strength when he was still alive. In the past, the Heavenly Sea Dragon King's status in the Divine Dragon race was clearly not very high. At most, he was a level 8 or 9 universe supremacy. In the Divine Dragon race, only existences at the universe ruler level could be considered a powerful Divine Dragon race. Even so, the combined energy of over 100 sets of dragon skeletons was still extremely frightening. The Dragon King Hall is in front. Let's go and break through it. Let's enter and kill that Sky Sea Dragon King. In front of the Dragon Tomb was the Dragon King Hall, which had been moved to the rear of the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace. Killing intent flashed in Wang Xian's eyes as he dashed over immediately. A gourd floated above Willow Deity's head. It was the immortal slaying gourd. An immortal slaying sword flew out from the immortal slaying gourd and attacked the Dragon King Hall ahead. Damn it! The Sky Sea Dragon King, who was in the Dragon King Palace, opened his eyes and revealed an ugly expression. The Dragon King Palace teleported and disappeared. At the same time, the Dragon King Palace, which was located in the herb garden, suddenly appeared. At this moment, there were many demonic beasts searching for treasures in the herb garden. Upon seeing the sudden arrival of the Dragon King Hall, everyone was astonished. I let you in, I gave you opportunities. Now it's time for you to offer your sacrifice. Offer your loyalty and submit to me completely. The Heavenly Sea Dragon King, who was coiled in the Dragon King Hall, growled with a gloomy expression. A wave of formless energy swept out in all directions. The energy swept across the entire Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace. The first 100 demonic beasts that entered the Dragon Palace trembled slightly as they felt an invincible energy enter their minds. These were all demonic beasts that had undergone the baptism of the Dragon's Gate. What they didn't know was that when they entered the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace and obtained the opportunities, there was an invisible hand controlling everything. An invisible energy was invading their bodies. However, at this moment, a certain key point was completely revealed. Enter the Dragon King Hall and protect me. A voice sounded in their minds, and the shadow of a golden divine dragon flashed in the eyes of these 100 over-demonic beasts. Yes, my king. They responded respectfully and immediately flew into the Dragon King Hall. Among these 100 over-demonic beasts, there were more than 30 at the Great Demon Realm. The rest of the demonic beasts were all above the 8th Order God Emperor realm. After all, they had all been bestowed with opportunities in the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace. However, among the 100 over-demonic beasts, the strongest was only a second-order universe venerable. They easily entered the Dragon King Hall and guarded the Heavenly Sea Dragon King respectfully. And in a corner of the Dragon King Hall, a woman with a snake's tail slowly stepped into the Dragon King Hall. Her round eyes looked around as she walked towards a cave entrance. The Heavenly Sea Dragon King, who was concentrating on fusing with his body, did not sense a figure that was not his subordinate entering his Dragon King Hall. At the back of the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace, Wang Xian frowned when he saw the Dragon King Hall disappear in an instant. Willow Deity's immortal slaying sword also missed. In the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace, he can control the Dragon King Hall to teleport. Although the area of the Dragon King Hall is not very big, and my attack can cover it completely, this Dragon Palace has something to hide from. With my attack power, I can't cause any damage to this Dragon Palace. Willow Deity said with a frown. Wang Xian nodded his head slightly. Although the Heavenly Sea Dragon King was very weak, this Dragon Palace was not. Willow Deity could not destroy a Dragon Palace that belonged to at least a 8th or 9th Order universe venerable. Even if it was a large-scale attack, it would be neutralized by some obstacles. To kill the Heavenly Sea Dragon King, they had to enter the Dragon King Hall. Let's try again. If it really doesn't work, we'll give up. Let's take everything that can be taken away from the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace first. Wang Xian said. Yes, Dragon King. Willow Deity nodded. Both of them moved and flew in the direction of the Dragon King Hall. However, just as Wang Xian and Willow Deity were in the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace, 7 to 8 million experts from the ancient painting sects and the Heavenly Dragon Tribe were flying above the Milky Way. Around them, experts from the Dense Fog Tribe and some other races were following them from afar. However, after flying for 10 minutes in the Milky Way, a huge teleportation formation suddenly appeared on their right. Around the teleportation formation, there were 2 universe venerables guarding it. All the experts from the 2 races immediately flew in the direction of the teleportation formation. Seeing this scene, the expressions of the surrounding people changed slightly. The ancient painting sects and the Heavenly Dragon Tribe are completely prepared. They actually built a teleportation formation. This teleportation formation will definitely lead them to the surroundings of the Dragon Palace. Definitely. The 2 forces are completely prepared for this battle. If they fly over, it will take at least a day. However, they can rush over immediately through the teleportation formation. This is to prevent the Dragon Palace from escaping. It seems like they have made a lot of preparations to destroy the Dragon Palace. This time it is almost foolproof. The surrounding experts from the Milky Way were all discussing in shock. They knew that the disaster that belonged to the Dragon Palace had arrived. The experts from the ancient painting sects and the Heavenly Dragon Tribe stepped into the teleportation formation and disappeared. To the Dragon Palace. Chapter 3182, Two forces besieged below, let's go. We'll head to the Dragon Palace through the teleportation formation. Seeing the people from the ancient painting sect and the heavenly dragon tribe enter the teleportation formation, a few venerables from the dense fog race frowned and spoke. They moved and immediately flew in the direction of the silver-gazing mainland. 3 years ago, the Dragon Palace had already opened the teleportation formation to the Silver Wang continent. However, that teleportation formation was a small-scale one. Even if the experts from the ancient painting sect and the heavenly dragon tribe knew about it, they wouldn't dare to use it. They were afraid that the Dragon Palace was waiting for them. However, they could use the teleportation formation to take a look. The group of venerables from the dense fog race flew towards the Silver Wang continent quickly. The other experts also thought of this and flew over immediately. Buzz buzz buzz. Soon, the teleportation formation in front of the Dragon Palace lit up. The experts from Jianghu's side appeared. However, as soon as they came out, they felt a terrifying pressure. Their expressions changed drastically. Unrelated people, stay away from here. A voice was heard. The few venerables from the dense fog race looked to the side immediately. When they saw that side, their pupils constricted slightly. At the side, the members of the Dragon Palace were already standing there, staring ahead with murderous intent. Clearly, the Dragon Palace already knew that the ancient painting sect and the heavenly dragon tribe were going to invade them. Since everyone from the Dragon Palace already knows, we won't disturb you. The venerables from the dense fog race cupped their fists and flew to the side. Prime Minister Turtle smiled faintly. A few venerables from the dense fog race flew to the side and observed the surrounding void. Clearly, the teleportation formation between the ancient painting sect and the heavenly dragon tribe wasn't set up near the Dragon Palace. This was normal. If it was set up near the Dragon Palace would sense it the moment they appeared. Buzz. More and more people rushed over from the teleportation formation and flew to the void at the side. Prime Minister Turtle squinted his eyes at the group of people who were watching the battle but didn't stop them. The Dragon King isn't here this time. He didn't reply to our messages either. This battle might be a tough one for us. Tianjin's eyes gleamed as he looked ahead. Tiske, I really don't believe that with our strength the ancient painting sect and the heavenly dragon clan can defeat us. Yamada no Orochi shouted with cold eyes, his face full of murderous intent. According to the Universe AI's information, the ancient painting sect should have 3 rank 3 venerables. The Sky Dragon clan should have at least 5 rank 3 venerables. As Prime Minister Turtle spoke, he looked at the heavenly formation and ate limitless thunder. Currently, the Dragon Palace Universe's rank 3 venerables were Heavenly Array Laming and 8 Limitless. Even though the heavenly formation had a powerful formation power, it was still a little weak in terms of peak combat power. Not to mention, it was highly likely that the two great forces possessed powerful treasures. We don't need to win this battle. We just need to defend it. Prime Minister Turtle said, when the Dragon King and Willow Deity return, we will play with them. Since they dare to attack our Dragon Palace, we will make them pay the price. Kill. Around them, the leaders of the Dragon Palace were filled with violent killing intent. He's here. At this moment, Laming squinted his eyes and said solemnly. As the Dragon King and Willow Deity weren't around, they didn't have much confidence in this battle. Buzz. Laming and the rest only felt a terrifying aura and the surrounding sky suddenly changed. A golden light flew over from the horizon. The golden light had a hint of holiness and irresistibility. The golden light gradually condensed into 4 illusory golden dragons, surrounded by golden radiance. The golden dragons shrouded in golden radiance, instantly enveloping the entire space around the Dragon Palace. The 4 golden dragons guarded the 4 corners. Is this an array formation? Prime Minister Turtle squinted his eyes and raised his eyebrows as he looked at the golden dragons guarding the 4 corners. It's an array formation to seal us. However, I can break such an array formation. Heavenly Array's eyes swept across the ceiling array formation. The corner of his mouth curved as he said faintly. Roar. Kill. When the array formation suppressed the 4 corners of the Dragon Palace, a furious roar came from the front. All the members of the Dragon Palace looked over and squinted their eyes. In the middle, the Sky Dragons swayed their huge bodies and charged over with a violent look. On the right, the experts and disciples of the ancient painting sect were either standing on various artifacts or huge war machines. Among them, the sect master of the ancient painting sect and an old man were standing on a painting. The painting was simple and unadorned. There were mountains and rivers on it and it was filled with a mysterious aura. Behind the ancient painting sect, there was a warship with a radius of more than 10,000 kilometers. The warship was covered in thunderbolts and looked like a giant thunderbolt beast from afar. In the universe, there were still extremely powerful clans with technology. There were even technological warships and mechas that could kill a level 7 or 8 universe supremacy. They fixed their eyes on the Dragon Palace and were filled with murderous intent. All members of the Dragon Palace, get ready. Prime Minister Turtle and the rest shouted coldly when they saw the arrival of the two forces. Fight! Those who offend the Dragon Palace will be killed no matter how far they are. The group of Dragon Palace disciples also roared with a violent look. Waves of aura rushed forward. Ha, Dragon Palace, how dare you kill the experts of the ancient painting sect? Today will be the day of your death. The sect master of the ancient painting sect stared at the Dragon Palace with bloodthirsty eyes and roared coldly. Hee, our Dragon Palace doesn't care about your puny ancient painting sect. Prime Minister Turtle swept his eyes across the sect master of the ancient painting sect and said with disdain. He then looked at the Heavenly Dragon Clan. Heavenly Dragon Clan, we are from the same divine dragon lineage and have no feud with you. I wonder why you are helping the evildoers. He asked plainly. The Heavenly Dragon Clan isn't here to annihilate you today. We can give you a choice to submit to us. In front of the Heavenly Dragon Clan, Duke Tianlong sized up all the members of the Dragon Palace. His eyes shone as he spoke proudly. The Heavenly Dragon Clan didn't care about the Dragon Palace at all. According to the information they received, the Heavenly Dragon Clan could annihilate a puny Dragon Palace. Submit to you? What if we don't agree? Prime Minister Turtle's eyes shone with murderous intent when he heard him. If you don't agree, we can only annihilate you. You are asking for it, Duke Tianlong said plainly, as though he was pronouncing a verdict. Chapter 3183, Dragon Palace's Strength, Destroy Us? Heavenly Dragon Clan, Ancient Painting Sect, do you really think that you can destroy our Dragon Palace by joining hands? Presumptuous. Prime Minister Turtle stared at Duke Tianlong of the Heavenly Dragon Clan and said coldly. Your Dragon King has been killed by our Heavenly Dragon King. Now it's your turn. King Tianlong laughed when he heard Prime Minister Turtle's words. What? Heavenly Dragon King killed our Dragon King? When did this happen? Heavenly Dragon King killed our Dragon King? Is this for real? Behind them, the powerhouses of He who had come to watch the battle, were shocked when they heard what they said. Dragon King was killed? Your Heavenly Dragon King wants to kill our Dragon King? Laming said coldly. Prime Minister Turtle and the rest sneered. If something happened to the Dragon King, Dragon Palace would be in trouble. Now that Dragon Palace was fine, the Dragon King was definitely fine. Moreover, Willow Deity was beside the Dragon King. Given Willow Deity's strength, she could easily kill Heavenly Dragon King. Your Dragon King must die. All of you must die too. Ancient Painting Sect leader said as he waved his arm. Boom. In the next moment, terrifying auras emanated from all the Ancient Painting Sect experts. Our Heavenly Dragon Clan wants to capture all the purebred divine dragons of Dragon Palace alive. Don't hurt them. Duke Tianlong laughed maniacally as he roared. Brr, brr. All the members of the Heavenly Dragon Clan roared in unison. Want to capture us alive? Brr, brr. The 9 wind divine dragons revealed killing intent in their eyes. They moved and instantly turned into enormous wind divine dragons. Waves of majestic dragon might surged forward. Some members of the Heavenly Dragon Clan who were below the supremacy level felt the dragon might and were filled with fear. This was the suppression from their bloodline. A bunch of half-dragons dare to provoke us? Courting death. Laming also turned into an enormous thunder dragon and roared coldly. All disciples of Dragon Palace, get ready. We'll let the Heavenly Dragon Clan know what the real Divine Dragon Clan is, the real Divine Dragon. Prime Minister Turtle waved his arm and ordered loudly. Kill. All the members of Dragon Palace roared. Kill. Other than that purebred Divine Dragon, kill the rest. All disciples of the Ancient Painting Sect, kill. Avenge the Vice Sect leader and the others. Duke Tianlong and the Ancient Painting Sect master gave their orders. Buzz. When the war horn sounded, the entire sky seemed to be boiling. In the center of the Ancient Painting Sect, there was a warship that was tens of thousands of kilometers long. Lightning was gathering at the center. A lightning pillar formed at a terrifying speed. The energy contained within was enough to annihilate a rank 2 venerable. This time the ancient painting sect had sent out their strongest trump card. Hiss, the war is about to start. There are so many universe venerables from the ancient painting sect and the heavenly dragon clan. What can the dragon palace use to resist? This aura is too terrifying. Let's continue to retreat. When they saw the auras of both sides rising and the venerables of the ancient painting sect and the heavenly dragon race flying into the sky, the spectating experts of the Milky Way were all shocked. With such a great disparity in battle prowess, how could they resist? One move to kill everyone except the purebred divine dragon. Heavenly Dragon Mother commanded confidently. Rumble. In the next moment, a terrifying and vast metal-type nomological law power gathered in front of him. The remaining universe venerables of the Heavenly Dragon clan also attacked at the same time. At the side, the 50 universe venerables of the ancient painting sect followed closely behind. Rumble. When the 150 universe venerables attacked at the same time, the space in front of them was instantly torn apart. A majestic force rushed towards the Dragon Palace, as though it wanted to annihilate the entire Dragon Palace in one move. The ancient painting sect's warship also bombarded the Dragon Palace with lightning pillars. The entire scene was enough to make one tremble in fear from afar. Hehe, they want to annihilate our Dragon Palace in one move? All the disciples of the Dragon Palace, let them witness the strength of our Dragon Palace. Prime Minister Turtle revealed a mocking expression when he heard Heavenly Dragon Mother's words. Rumble. In an instant, at the forefront, the Dragon Palace leaders and venerables gathered terrifying energy in front of them. Currently, the Dragon Palace had close to 100 universe venerables. But now, other than the close to 100 universe venerables, Dragon Palace still had a great killing weapon. At the center of the back, tens of thousands of witch dragons stood on the Heaven Divination chessboard, releasing the same array. A Ninth-Order God Emperor array, under the support of the Heaven Divination chessboard, reached the peak God Emperor level. When 10,000 peak God Emperor experts released their attacks, what kind of concept was that? The surrounding energy was frantically extracted, and the entire sky suddenly turned dark. An even more terrifying energy than the ancient painting sect and the Heavenly Dragon clan met their attacks. What? When the close to 100 universe venerables of the Dragon Palace released their power, and when the witch dragon released the array, the venerables of the Heavenly Dragon clan and the ancient painting sect had a huge change in expression. Why do they have so many universe venerables? Duke Tianlong's eyes widened as he roared. Boom. At this instant, the energy released by both sides collided. The attacks released by the Dragon Palace rapidly destroyed the attacks from the ancient painting sect and the Heavenly Dragon clan. Moreover, there was still a terrifying attack from the two forces. What? Seeing their attacks being instantly nullified, the expressions of the few rank 3 venerables from the Sky Dragon clan ancient painting sect changed slightly. Their collision was actually suppressed. Moreover, the number of venerables on the other side far exceeded their imagination. Heavenly Dragon wings? Duke Tianlong's expression was gloomy as he flapped his enormous dragon wings. Metal-attributed laws condensed into dragon wings, meeting the attacks of the Dragon Palace experts. The other few rank 3 venerables beside him also attacked. Boom. Another explosion sounded, and the Dragon Palace's attack was blocked. What's going on? Why does Dragon Palace have so many universe venerables? The ancient painting sect master's heart sank when he saw this scene, and he could not help but roar. 3 years ago, Dragon Palace revealed all of its power. At that time they only had around 40 universe venerables. However, 3 years had passed, and the number of venerables had actually doubled. Dragon Palace must have obtained a powerful divine dragon inheritance. At this moment, the Third Order venerables from the Heavenly Dragon clan widened their eyes and roared. Purebred divine dragons, the number of venerables had doubled in 3 years. There was only one explanation: they had obtained an extremely powerful divine dragon inheritance. Chapter 3184. A terrifying inheritance. A powerful divine dragon inheritance. When the ancient painting sect and the Sky Dragon tribe saw the attack from the Dragon Palace experts, their expressions changed drastically. They were shocked and in disbelief. Everyone was aware of Dragon Palace's strength 3 years ago. The war 3 years ago was a crisis for the Dragon Palace. They could not have hidden their strength in that battle. However, they only had about 40 universe supremacies 3 years ago. Now they had more than doubled. With such a terrifying speed of growth, the divine dragon inheritance that Dragon Palace had obtained must be terrifying. This Dragon Palace's growth speed. Around them, the dense fog race supremacies and the rest of the Milky Way experts were shocked. What a horrifying inheritance it was to be able to improve the Dragon Palace so quickly. 10 purebred divine dragons, terrifying growth speed. This Dragon Palace must have obtained the inheritance of the peak divine dragon lineage. The ancient painting sect leader shuddered, his eyes wide open. At the side, the Heavenly Dragon clan's Duke and Mother Heavenly Dragon, as well as a few other rank 3 venerables exchanged glances, their eyes blazing with passion. Compared to the purebred divine dragons, the terrifying inheritance of Dragon Palace was much more tempting to them. How powerful would an inheritance that could allow Dragon Palace to grow so quickly be? Annihilate Dragon Palace. We must annihilate them. They only have 3 rank 3 supremacies. Given our strength, it's enough. Duke Tianlong bellowed, his gaze fixed on the ancient painting sect leader. Annihilate Dragon Palace at all costs. The ancient painting sect leader nodded heavily and bellowed. The strength displayed by Dragon Palace shocked them, but what shocked them even more was Dragon Palace's growth speed. The current Dragon Palace was already stronger than their ancient painting sect. If they allowed them to develop for another 100 years, their ancient painting sect would definitely be annihilated. Hence, they had to annihilate Dragon Palace this time. At all costs. Kill. All disciples attack. The ancient painting sect leader bellowed, leading the charge, flying forward and attacking again. Kill. Duke Tianlong and the rest flapped their huge wings, swooping down to kill. Kill. Behind them, about 5 million ancient painting sect disciples and 2 to 3 million heavenly dragon tribe disciples immediately moved and attacked the Dragon Palace. Fight. Prime Minister Turtle squinted his eyes and roared with a murderous look. All the disciples of Dragon Palace welcomed them without any fear. The dragon might in his body surged forward. Ao. When the dragon might of the Dragon Palace swept towards the heavenly dragon tribe, some of the Sky Dragon tribe's flood dragons trembled and revealed a look of horror. Roar, kill. The leading experts of the Heavenly Dragon clan felt the suppression from their bloodline. Their expressions changed slightly and they shouted sternly. All the disciples of the Heavenly Dragon tribe revealed a tinge of madness as they charged towards the members of the Dragon Palace. Kill them. The eyes of Duke Tianlong and the rest shone with determination as they locked onto the experts of Dragon Palace. Leave the 4 Third Order God Emperors to me. Tianjin looked at the 7 Third Order God Emperors in front of him and said. With a wave of his arm, the arrays that he had set up in the surroundings immediately activated and attacked the 4 Third Order God Emperors. Leave the other 2 to me. Roar. Laming roared and his gaze locked onto Duke Tianlong and Mother Tianlong. Kikik, leave the last one to me. Orochi smiled eerily and dashed forward to kill Yi Futian. Shaman Dragon, lock onto 10 Second Order God Emperors among them. Prime Minister Turtle ordered coldly when he saw the venerables of the 2 forces charging towards him. Yes. 10,000 Shaman Dragon responded immediately. Every 1,000 of them locked onto a Second Order God Emperor and attacked with an earth-shattering array. They could only deal with Second Order God Emperors if they were 2 ranks higher than them. Otherwise, they would not be able to keep up with the other party's speed. The rest of the venerables of Dragon Palace, kill them. Prime Minister Turtle's gaze swept across the 150 or so venerables of the 2 forces as he roared with a sullen expression. Kill. The venerables of Dragon Palace locked onto their enemies and charged forward. Ancient Painting Sect. This time there were 7 rank 3 supremacies and 25 rank 2 supremacies. The rest were all First Order God Emperors. 10,000 Shaman Dragon fought against 10 of them while the remaining 15 fought against 10 venerables. 10,000 Witch Dragons held back 10 Universe supremacies, while the remaining 15 Dragon Palace's 10 Universe supremacies fought back. As for the rest of the Dragon Palace experts, they were fighting against more than 100 rank 1 Universe venerables. Dragon Cannon fire. However, Dragon Palace had the Dragon Cannon and the various weapons forged by the Firehammer tribe. It was enough to deal with a few First Order God Emperors. In an instant, a huge battle erupted. Dragon Palace disciples, get into formation and charge. Below the Universe Venerable Realm, the million members of the Dragon Palace and the Devouring Dragons, the weakest of which was a Third Order God Emperor realm, immediately formed into battle formations and charged forward. Boom. The terrifying attacks collided and the entire world seemed to tremble. Dragon Palace is very strong, but it is still slightly weaker than the other 2 forces. They are still much weaker, be it in terms of high-end combat power or the number of venerables. In the surrounding area, a group of Milky Way powerhouses who were watching the battle were discussing in shock when they saw the battle erupt. In that instant of collision, Dragon Palace's side felt a huge pressure. Prime Minister Turtle frowned slightly and his eyes shone. 111. At this moment, a voice filled with evil and depravity suddenly sounded from the side. Hearing this voice, Prime Minister Turtle was slightly stunned. The sinister voice spread out in front of them. This dispirited murmuring evil voice caused the ancient painting sect and the Heavenly Dragon Clan's universe venerables to slightly pause, their expressions greatly changing. Oh no, what is this voice? It actually interfered with the energy within my body and made me feel crazy. A level 2 universe venerable from the ancient painting sect had a drastic change in expression as he roared in fear. What a strange voice, what an evil voice. All the level 1 venerables' expressions changed. All of a sudden a blood-curdling scream rang out. One of the ancient painting sect's venerable's eyes turned bloodshot as he lost control and attacked his surroundings. Roving demon, who was hidden in the darkness, instantly killed him. Below, the eyes of some of the experts from the ancient painting sect and the heavenly dragon race instantly turned bloodshot when they heard the evil voice. Blood flowed out from their mouths. They also started attacking the people around them in a frenzy. Instantly they fell into a trance. Chapter 3185. Ancient Painting in the Sky. Heavenly Dragon Roar. What is this eerie sound? What kind of eerie sound is this? The depraved and evil sound caused the supremacies to tremble and those below the supremacy level to go crazy. The experts from the ancient painting sect of the Heavenly Dragon Clan had a drastic change in expression. The eyes of the surrounding spectators also shrunk and were filled with astonishment. Damn it! Stop this sound. When Duke Tianlong heard this sound, he felt the energy in his body being obstructed. He sensed the situation around him and roared. Kill. Below, all the disciples of Dragon Palace seized this chance and exploded with all their strength. Countless arrows were shot towards the disciples of the two major forces. Terrifying energy poured out in torrents. In an instant, hundreds of thousands of disciples from the two forces were killed. The disciples from the ancient painting sect and the celestial dragon tribe were all elites. They were all Emperor God experts. Damn it! Heavenly Dragon Roar. Heavenly Dragon Roar blocked this eerie sound. A few rank 3 supremacies from the Heavenly Dragon Clan roared and raised their heads. At the next moment, roars came from within their bodies. The Celestial Dragon Clan mainly had 2 attributes, metal and wind. When the order was given, all the drakes from the Heavenly Dragon Clan raised their heads. Sonorous metal clangs and the sound of hurricanes tearing came from their mouths. Numerous sharp weapons of the metal element and wind element wind blades flew out of their mouths and whizzed toward everyone in the Dragon Palace. The roars and attacks covered the sound of the depraved evil sound. Beside Prime Minister Turtle, the leader of the Dolphin Clan, who was holding a black-red spider lily, frowned when he saw the millions of heavenly dragons covering the sound of the depraved black-red spider lily. Block. Prime Minister Turtle saw the terrifying heavenly dragon roar and his expression changed. He moved and joined the battlefield to block. With my current strength, the effect of the withering evil sound of the black-red spider lily will be reduced if I don't use it on a large scale. Moreover, it can be counteracted by the heavenly dragon roar. The leader of the Dolphin Clan frowned and looked at the battlefield of the supremacies, using the evil sound to assist the experts of Dragon Palace. Kill, kill, kill. When the group of experts from the ancient painting sect saw that the strange voice was broken, their faces were filled with violent killing intent. They crazily attacked the disciples of Dragon Palace. Ancient painting, world-suppressing mountain and river, scram. In the air, Tianjin was facing off against 3 level 3 universe venerables from the ancient painting sect and 1 sky dragon from the Sky Dragon Clan. 1 against 4, and under the powerful formation he did not seem to be at a disadvantage at all. At this moment, the ancient painting sect leader's body moved and the ancient painting beneath him rose into the air. The mountains and rivers on the ancient painting were instantly reflected in reality. In an instant, a mountain appeared in the starry sky and smashed towards the sky formation. Ancient painting in the sky, mountains and rivers transform into stars, suppressing the world. On the other side, the ancient painting beneath the ancient painting sect's first supreme elder also rose into the air. In the ancient painting beneath him, the mountains and rivers transformed into stars. An independent universe seemed to have appeared and similarly attacked the heaven matrix. Oh no, this power is so terrifying. Feeling the power from the 2 ancient paintings, Tianjin's expression changed slightly. Although Tianjin was very strong, in actual fact he was merely a peak emperor god. As a powerful sect that had stood for billions of years, the ancient painting sect had an extremely deep foundation. The ancient painting was the treasure of the ancient painting sect. Only the sect leader and first supreme elder could possess it, and it was passed down from generation to generation. The power of the ancient painting was abnormally terrifying. It belonged to the peak among the postnatal spiritual treasures. Even if the ancient painting could not allow them to fight against those of a higher realm, they could still fight against 2 or 3 opponents of the same realm. Peng peng peng. The first ancient painting's mountains and rivers descended and Tianjin's formations crumbled rapidly. He waved both his hands and one formation after another went forward to resist. Rumble. At this moment, meteorites fell from the sky and smashed towards where he was. Tianjin's expression changed again. I'm in trouble. I can't resist so many experts alone. Tianjin bellowed with an embarrassed expression. Kill, kill, kill. Haha, no matter how strong your dragon palace is, we will annihilate all of you today. The ancient painting sect leader's face was filled with a sinister expression when he heard him. Roar, 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 even if you are a purebred divine dragon, it is wishful thinking to fight against the 2 of us. At the side, Lei Ming was fighting against Duke Tianlong and Mother Tianlong. They looked to the side and saw the ancient painting sect leader and the others gaining the upper hand. Their eyes shot out golden radiance. Dragon Ball. They roared in unison and opened their mouths. 2 golden dragon balls flew out from their bodies. The dragon balls gave off a terrifying aura and condensed into the shape of a dragon's head. The dragon balls were nurtured by a purebred divine dragon. They were powerful treasures that they had obtained from the Sky Sea Dragon Palace. They were comparable to powerful postnatal spiritual treasures. When Lei Ming sensed the power contained in the 2 dragon balls, his expression changed slightly. The Heavenly Dragon King and Heavenly Dragon Mother were much stronger than the Dragon Skeleton and Blood Dragon he had fought previously. Thunder roar. Lei Ming focused and roared violently. Roar, 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 I will help you suppress this Thunder Dragon. At this moment, a Heaven Dragon's voice came from the side. Lei Ming looked over and his expression changed slightly. A Heaven Dragon that was restrained by the Heaven Formation had flown over. This increased the pressure on Lei Ming. It was already very difficult to fight 1 against 2. Now there was another at the same level. He was no match for them at all. Dragon Ball Golden Dragon Kill. Duke Tianlong and Mother Tianlong roared. The golden dragon balls emitted dazzling golden light and turned into dragon claws that attacked Lei Ming. In the sky, the Heaven Dragon also attacked. Thunder Dragon Annihilation. Lei Ming's expression changed as he roared and used his strongest Dharma Law. Bam bam bam. But just as he used his Dharma Law, the 2 dragon balls and the other level 3 venerables attack had already arrived. The Dharma Law that he condensed was instantly destroyed as the 2 golden dragon claws attacked Lei Ming. Bam bam. Lei Ming's expression changed as he hurriedly used his dragon claws to block. But the terrifying attack from the 2 dragon balls sent his body flying and he vomited blood. Retreat, retreat, retreat. All Dragon Palace members, retreat into the Dragon Palace immediately. At the side, Prime Minister Turtle sensed that Lei Ming was injured and that the Heaven Formation was being suppressed. His expression changed as he immediately gave the order to retreat. Retreat. After the Dragon Palace disciples heard the order, their expressions changed and they immediately retreated. The Dragon Palace was no match for the ancient painting sect and the Heaven Dragon tribe. Chapter 3186. The ancient painting hung high in the sky and the heavenly dragon roared. When the ancient painting sect unleashed its full strength, the experts of Dragon Palace were no match for them. As a powerful primary race, they possessed powerful treasures. Even the members of Dragon Palace would find it hard to fight 1 against 2, not to mention 1 against 3 or 4. Even if it was a heavenly formation, under the attack of the mountains and rivers reflected in the ancient paintings, the formation instantly collapsed. Lei Ming was immediately injured under the powerful attack of the 2 golden dragon balls and the rank 3 supremacies of the heavenly dragon race. In terms of overall strength, Dragon Palace was still much weaker than them. Retreat. They could only retreat now, otherwise, everyone in Dragon Palace would be killed. SSS, indeed the ancient painting sect and the heavenly dragon race. Their strength and foundation are too strong. Dragon Palace is no match for them. After all, they are 2 forces with deep foundations. Dragon Palace is in trouble. The surrounding spectators were shocked to see this scene. The remaining Dragon Palace disciples would probably be slaughtered. Retreat, retreat, retreat into Dragon Palace. The group of Dragon Palace disciples quickly retreated upon hearing Prime Minister Turtle's order. Kill them. Kill them. Chase after them. The ancient painting sect master looked below and sneered at the sky formation that was struggling to resist the ancient painting. You want to fight against 3 to 4 of us alone? You're courting death. He said coldly and waved his arm. The mountains and rivers reflected in the ancient painting once again and smashed towards the sky formation. Sky formation's face was filled with solemnity as he retreated continuously. Kill, kill, kill. On the surrounding battlefield, the experts from the ancient painting sect and the heavenly dragon race chased after the Dragon Palace when they saw that they were retreating. Duke Tianlong and Mother Tianlong waved their arms and 2 golden dragon balls shot towards Lei Ming again. Lei Ming felt the terrifying aura from the dragon balls and his face turned ugly. Crackle. He raised his dragon horn, and lightning gathered on it as he attacked the dragon ball in front of him. Aha, die. To the side, the rank 3 godly dragon that was attacking Lei Ming suddenly turned around, charging towards a rank 2 devouring dragon. When the devouring dragon sensed the terrifying attack, its expression changed drastically. Boom. He swung his huge tail and swept it away. Die. This sky dragon was of the wind attribute. Looking at the tail of the devouring dragon, its 2 huge wings slashed over like sharp blades. Brr. A blood-curdling scream came from the mouth of the devourer dragon. Its dragon tail was directly cut off. Die. The sky dragon roared and flapped its huge wings, trying to grab him. Bam. His sharp claws pierced through the head of the devouring dragon, and a terrifying hurricane surrounded it. The life force of the devouring dragon disappeared quickly. Retreat, retreat quickly. Prime Minister Turtle's anxious roar continued. Dragon cannon fire. At the rear, all the members of the Firehammer clan immediately opened the 100 Gates Dragon Palace to cover the retreat of the members of the Dragon Palace. Defend. Retreat. Dragon ruling the world. All the Imperial Dragons roared and erected a terrifying defense at the very front. A huge earthen wall stood in front of them. All the disciples of the Dragon Palace flew towards the Dragon Palace. Fortunately, the battlefield was very close to the Dragon Palace at the rear. Explode, explode, explode. When Orochi saw this, his expression changed slightly. With a wave of his arm, the upper part of his body flew out and exploded. The black, corrosive and poisonous liquid attacked the universe venerables of the ancient painting sect, the Sky Dragon clan. Be careful. The venerables of the ancient painting sect and the Sky Dragon clan quickly retreated when they saw the terrifying black liquid. Retreat. The group of experts from the Dragon Palace seized the opportunity and retreated quickly. Boom. At this moment, on the terrifying warship below, a lightning pillar broke the defense of the Imperial Dragons. In an instant, over 2,000 Imperial Dragons were obliterated by the lightning. Ancient painting sect, Sky Dragon clan, we will definitely annihilate you. The group of members of the Dragon Palace looked over with bloodshot eyes. They returned to the Dragon Palace furiously and stared at everyone from the ancient painting sect and the Sky Dragon clan. Aha, this is just the beginning. Today we will definitely annihilate you. The group of experts from the ancient painting sect looked over and laughed hysterically. Given their strength, they could easily suppress them. Swish, swish, swish. Under the defense of the Imperial Dragons, all the disciples of the Dragon Palace entered the Dragon Palace. Millions of disciples from the 2 forces immediately chased after them. The group of universe venerables of the Dragon Palace also seized the opportunity to retreat to the back of the Dragon sect when Orochi exploded his own body. Lei Ming and the other 2 didn't dare to continue entangling with the Dragon sect and flew over quickly. Ehe, do you think you will be safe after escaping to your Dragon Palace? Golden Dragon Pearl, Dragon Horn space shattering. When Duke Tianlong and the rest saw all the members of the Dragon Palace escaping into the Dragon Palace, their eyes were filled with cold killing intent. With a wave of his arm, the Golden Dragon Pearl turned into a pair of dragon horns and attacked the Dragon Palace. Hundreds of the Sky Dragon clan venerables immediately flew to the front of the Dragon Palace with cold eyes. Boom. Boom. The Golden Dragon Pearl turned into a dragon horn and caused ripples on the Dragon Gate of the Dragon Palace. The entire Dragon Palace remained unmoved. Ha! Such a strong defense. Duke Tianlong was shocked when his attack landed on the Dragon Palace and didn't even move an inch. Trying to break into the Dragon Palace? Wishful thinking. Inside the Dragon Palace, in front of the Dragon Gate, Prime Minister Turtle and the rest revealed cold expressions when they saw Duke Tianlong's attack. This time, according to their original plan, even if Dragon Palace wasn't a match for the other party, they would still be able to cause some losses. But the eruption of strength from the ancient painting sect and the Sky Dragon clan made them realize that there was still a huge gap between them. The skeleton race and the other two races couldn't be compared to the ancient painting sect and the Sky Dragon clan at all. Their foundation and strength were much stronger than the three races. However, it was impossible for the other party to break into the Dragon Palace. The current defense of the Dragon Palace could withstand attacks below the Universe Ruler level. Those below the Ruler level could forget about breaking the defense of the Dragon Palace. In the Dragon Palace they were very safe. However, regarding the battle of the Dragon Palace just now, their expressions were very ugly. In a short battle, Dragon Palace lost a rank 2 Universe Venerable and over 2,000 disciples. To the Dragon Palace, it was rare to suffer such a loss. All the disciples of the ancient painting sect, prepare to blast this Dragon Palace. The ancient painting sect master looked at the Dragon Palace and immediately flew over, shouting sternly. Chapter 3187. Invincible Defense Kill. All the ancient painting sect disciples were filled with excitement and killing intent when they heard the sect master's order. Dragon Palace was no match for them. The Dragon Palace disciples fled to their Dragon Palace. The victory of this battle belonged to them. Break. Star Fall. The ancient painting sect's first supreme elder moved and hovered above the Dragon Palace. He raised both hands and the ancient painting floated in the air with countless stars on it. The stars in the sky smashed towards the Dragon Palace. Mountains and rivers suppression break. The ancient painting sect master's face was filled with coldness. A billion miles of mountains and rivers appeared and pressed down on the Dragon Palace. Break through the Dragon Palace and kill all of them. The rest of the ancient painting sect's supremacies immediately released their terrifying attacks. Boundless energy engulfed the Dragon Palace. Inside the Dragon Palace, Prime Minister Turtle and the rest looked at the doomsday-like scene outside without any change in expression. Damn it, I suffered a huge loss this time. I lost a lot of energy in my body. At the side, Orochi looked at his arm that was slowly recovering and growled in a low voice with an extremely embarrassed expression. Wait for our Dragon King and Willow Deity to come back. We will kill all of them and not let a single one of them off. Prime Minister Turtle growled with a sullen expression. Boom. Boom. While they were talking, the incomparably terrifying stars had already landed above the Dragon Palace. The mountains and rivers that were even larger than the Dragon Palace had also landed. A loud roar came from outside. However, when their attacks landed on the sky above the Dragon Palace, it didn't move at all. It wasn't damaged at all. What? The ancient painting sect master's expression changed when his attacks landed on the Dragon Palace and did not break it. The smile on his face gradually disappeared. The defense of this Dragon Palace is a little terrifying. Their Dragon Palace must have inherited a powerful divine dragon. Duke Tianlong looked over and said with a frown. Powerful? How powerful can they be? I don't believe that their Dragon Palace's defense is comparable to the Sky Sea Dragon Palace's. The ancient painting sect master said with a sullen expression. Attack together and destroy this Dragon Palace. Duke Tianlong's eyes flickered as he growled. Yes. The Sky Dragon race's supremacies nodded. They roared in unison and flapped their huge wings. Soon, an incomparably huge wind blade was formed in the sky. In addition, there were countless densely packed dragon claws condensed from metal. Together, the ancient painting sect's 50 universe supremacies also shook and started to condense energy. Waves of vast energy that could easily destroy stars condensed above the Dragon Palace. Attack. Duke Tianlong ordered, and 150 universe venerables attacked Dragon Palace. Boom boom boom. An incomparably terrifying roar sounded, and countless nomological energy fell on the Dragon Palace as though it was the end of the world. Bam bam bam. However, when the destructive energy landed on the Dragon Palace, it still couldn't leave a mark on it. Immovable. Seeing that the Dragon Palace wasn't damaged at all the venerables had ugly expressions on their faces. Their combined attack, which was a charged attack, was actually unable to break through the defense of the Dragon Palace. The entire Dragon Palace didn't even tremble, which was unbelievable to them. Find another place to attack. The Sky Dragon race's supremacies had a bad premonition. King Tianlong scanned the surroundings, moved and immediately flew towards the back of the dragon palace. Swish swish swish. The ancient painting sect and sky dragon race's supremacies immediately followed behind. Boom boom boom. Boom boom boom. Soon, terrifying attacks fell on the dragon palace, and they even burst out their nomological laws to attack. The dragon palace within a radius of 10 million kilometers was completely under their attacks, and there were no blind spots. However, there was still no fluctuation in the dragon palace after continuous attacks. Later, the supremacies of the two forces condensed their attacks into a single point and bombarded continuously. The entire dragon palace still didn't have a single trace. Damn it. All disciples of the Sky Dragon race's ancient painting sect, release your attacks. Duke Tianlong roared with an incomparably ugly expression. Soon, all the disciples of the two forces launched their attacks. It covered the sky and covered the earth, it truly covered the sky and the earth. All the magma around the dragon palace disappeared under their attacks. The terrain of the entire volcano region had changed. Everything was under the sweep of this terrifying energy. Even the entire Milky Way's underground was penetrated, revealing the terrifying grayish energy below. After a few minutes of continuous attacks, there was still no change in the dragon palace. This dragon palace's defense isn't weaker than the Sky Sea Dragon Palace. The ancient painting sect master roared with an incomparably ugly expression. They couldn't break the invincible dragon palace at all. This reminded them of the Sky Sea Dragon Palace. The invincible dragon palace that couldn't be broken either. When the supremacies of the Sky Dragon race heard this, their expressions changed constantly. They had entered the Sky Sea Dragon Palace before, and the defense inside and outside was extremely terrifying. It wasn't something they could destroy at all. The Dragon Palace in front of them wasn't any weaker than the Sky Sea Dragon Palace. This caused them to be extremely embarrassed. Once all the members of the Dragon Palace hid in the Dragon Palace, they wouldn't be able to do anything. Sect Master, what should we do? One of the ancient painting sect's supremacies looked at the sect master and asked with an uncertain expression. The ancient painting sect master looked at Duke Tianlong and the rest and frowned. The defense of the Dragon Palace is too strong. We have to think of other ways to break it. The heavenly dragon matriarch flapped her wings and scanned the surroundings coldly. What can we do about it? An expert of the Sky Dragon race couldn't help but say with a helpless expression. The defense of the Dragon Palace was simply invincible. Our clan leader might have a way. A supremacy of the Sky Dragon race hesitated and said, I have a way that might work. We can seal the Dragon Palace with a formation and absorb all the spiritual chi in the surroundings. No matter how strong the Dragon Palace is, it needs to absorb the energy of the universe. Without energy, the defense of the Dragon Palace will definitely be weakened. However, this might take a long time. The ancient painting sect's first supreme elder said, That's one way. Seal this place first. When our clan leader is here, he will have a way. Duke Tianlong and the rest nodded confidently. They were extremely confident in their clan leader. Moreover, their clan leader should have already completed the heaven-stealing meridian changing. The clan leader who possessed a pure bloodline would definitely receive a huge boost. By then, it would be easy to break the Dragon Palace. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.